It's the most powerful show on television. High drama with intense energy. A show dedicated to a few brave souls who risk their lives for the sake of their craft. Its in-depth reporting goes to the core and unlocks the mysteries behind today's raciest sport. Motorsports. Catch it when you can.
Welcome back to Post Tech, now on episode number 25. And folks, I apologize for the extended wait in between the last production, but I'm excited to be back, and I hope that you folks are as well. We're getting back into the swing of things, moving on to episode 25, coming off of an action-packed first 3 weekends of racing in the NASCAR Cup Series, the round of 16. We saw the races held at Darlington Raceway, Rockingham Speedway, and Bristol Motor Speedway, which saw Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, and Kyle Busch all head to victory lane respectively. And once again, following Bristol, we had 4 drivers' chances at a championship disappear after the first round elimination. We've got 3 whole races in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series to cover here today, all 3 of the Truck Series round of 12 events. So per the recent standard, I'll be getting through the news information a little bit quickly. First off, a little bit of recap of the round of 16 in the NASCAR Cup Series. Brad Keselowski is finally a winner for Hendrick Motorsports at the Cup level. In the Cookout Southern 500 at Darlington Raceway, strategy handed Kyle Larson a lead of more than 8 seconds above the entire field. And a subsequent caution came out, allowing Larson to restart in clean air out in front of the field, while his competition had to deal with 15 lap cars before they could even see the number 57 car. Brad Keselowski meticulously drove through the field all the way up from 4th position on the second-to-last restart, past every single lap-down car, finally giving himself a chance at race leader Kyle Larson in the final 15 laps. Obviously, on the second-to-last caution, he made his way from 4th all the way up to 2nd. Another caution flag came out. That reset the field once again. Now Brad was closer to the 57 of Larson, and on that restart, he drove past the remaining lap cars and got to the 57. Keselowski had nothing to lose because he had missed the playoffs this season and has been winless for the full 26 races since Atlanta, the championship race last season, while Kyle Larson had almost everything to lose, racing for a round of 12 advancement position. Brad Keselowski raced him hard but clean at Darlington Raceway in a battle almost as intense as the Craven and Kurt Busch battle held at Darlington Raceway 18 years ago. In the end, it was Brad Keselowski coming out on top, finally scoring that victory for Rick Hendrick, 13 years after making his first Cup Series start for Hendrick Motorsports. Larson, however, was denied what appeared to be a surefire advancement into the round of 12, which eventually came back to bite him. Now, moving on to Rockingham Speedway's North Carolina Education Lottery 500, it was an incredibly competitive event. 51 lead changes among 14 different competitors. In the end, it was Daniel Suarez besting Justin Allgaier by half a second, locking himself into the round of 12 and scoring his series-leading 4th victory on the season. But most importantly, we had controversy between Kyle Larson and Ryan Newman. Those two have ran into each other before. Newman, as you recall, booted Larson up out of the way at Phoenix back in 2014 to make the championship 4, so it's not the first time that they've ruffled some feathers together. Under caution at Rockingham, then race leader Justin Allgaier slowed up a little bit abruptly up in front of the field, and Larson was able to react just in time and slow down without making contact. However, the third-place runner of Ryan Newman was caught a little bit off guard by the 42 car of Allgaier slowing down very quickly and made contact with the 57 of Larson, turning him around coming off of turn number 2. Larson was obviously extremely frustrated by this move, mainly the fact that the incident was both avoidable and that Larson is chasing a championship, while Newman is nowhere near that points battle. Fortunately for Larson, though, the damage was nowhere near terminal. It was only cosmetic. So he was able to get some slight damage repair and get back on track without any problems. However, Newman and Larson found each other once again, this time after another caution flag and coming off of pit road. Larson went up to Newman's right rear quarter panel and tried to make a little bit of contact, just trying to get in to the 6 of Ryan Newman to show his displeasure. Newman checked up just a little bit and they hooked, sending Newman and Larson both up into the outside wall while the rest of the field drove by on the inside of the racetrack. as whole field was just coming off of pit road. The damage to Ryan Newman's car was surprisingly minimal, while Kyle Larson's day was done with massive front-end damage. Larson's DNF places him pretty much into must-win territory entering Bristol Motor Speedway, emphasizing just how important that victory at Darlington could have been if he could have held off the charging 88 car of Brad Keselowski. The reason that Larson was not handed a suspension for the yellow flag contact with Ryan Newman was because Newman was not eliminated from the race due to the contact. It was actually Larson who got the short end of the stick and DNF'd from the damage. However, Larson was handed a fairly hefty fine of $20,000 for the incident, which in his position as driver-owner, it might mean a little bit more to him to get a fine than most other competitors in the field. And finally, Rockingham Speedway marked the end of Rick Mast's NASCAR career. He kicked off his NASCAR career in what is now known as the NASCAR Xfinity Series back in 1982, the series' official first year as a NASCAR national division. The 9-time Xfinity Series winner had his career cut short in 2002 from carbon monoxide poisoning, but he was an instrumental figure in NASCAR's redesign of the air intake systems on our modern stock cars to reduce the exhaust fumes that drivers breathe. Once work began on Rockingham Speedway to get it back onto the NASCAR Cup Series schedule, Rick Mast promised that he would come out of retirement for one final race at the Rock, the site of his best career Cup Series finish, coming home a close second place in an all-out battle with Dale Earnhardt back in 1994. Mast unfortunately missed the 2020 running of the North Carolina Education Lottery 500, NASCAR's full-on return to the Speedway. However, he did make the race this season with a huge showing in qualifying, with a 10th place run in a former Roush Fenway Racing Ford, now owned by Rick Ware. Mast had a clear goal, and that was to finish out his career on his own terms and running at the drop of the checkered flag, and he accomplished that goal. He finished in 32nd position at Rockingham, 6 laps behind eventual winner Daniel Suarez, but it truly was a victory for Mast, concluding his career on his own terms beneath the checkered flag. Bristol Motor Speedway in the playoff race saw some incredible action, being the elimination race of the round of 16. With its low line is the go line style racing, where the entire usable racing surface is only a 5-foot wide strip of concrete down by the bottom of the racetrack, right up against that yellow line on the bottom that separates the racing surface from the apron. Once you start sliding up, the fall off is literally about 1/10 of a second each lap every foot up the hill. It is that close to try and nail your driving line at that facility. Regular season champion Joey Logano suffered a terrifying tumble early in the race, which saw him land on top of fellow title contender Josh Bilicki, knocking both of them out of the race and actually, unfortunately, ending the Daytona 500 Winners' Championship hopes. Bilicki was out of it following Bristol Motor Speedway, but still a very good season overall for Tommy Baldwin Racing, scoring that Daytona 500 back in the spring. A tremendous boost to that organization. We'll see what they'll be able to do next season. And obviously, they still have the final 7 races of the year to prove their worth as well, including another Super Speedway race at Talladega, which they should certainly be strong in. Joey Logano, however, was uninjured in the accident, and surprisingly, his playoff points from his regular season championship were actually enough to secure him a spot in the round of 12, and yet he has not won in almost 2 seasons up to this point. In a system that rewards winning, Logano has made it this far still winless. The middle of the race at Bristol Motor Speedway saw a large crash entering turn number 1, which ultimately collected the number 57 of Kyle Larson, ending his day and eliminating him from the playoffs, getting caught up in a mistake that was not of his own doing. Larson finished runner-up in the point standings the last 2 seasons, driving for both Chip Ganassi and also in a business partnership with David Gilliland last year. Once again, Larson has to be kicking himself over what was lost at Darlington Raceway, coming home that close second to Brad Keselowski. The battle for the victory at Bristol came down to a race between 2 old rivals, Clinton Boyer and Kyle Busch. Clinton Boyer, now in his final Cup Series season, has nothing to lose but simply everything to gain, and he's trying to claim a victory to end his full-time career on. However, Kyle Busch was racing for an advancement into the round of 12 and would not be denied. Lap traffic played a critical role in the race, primarily Austin Cindric, who got very racy with both Clint Bowyer and Kyle Busch in the final 30 laps of the race. And in the end, it was Kyle Busch claiming the victory above Clint Bowyer. Busch locks himself into the round of 12 with the clutch victory at Bristol Motor Speedway in the Bass Pro Shops night race. Chase Bristol finished in third position. While it was not a win, his average finish at the Speedway, regardless of surface type, is still 1.6. With a victory on the concrete and on the dirt the first 2 times he ever went there, and now a third-place finish. Pretty remarkable record at the track for Briscoe, who's still very young into his Cup Series career. Clinton Bowyer obviously was very disappointed on missing out on yet another opportunity at a victory in his final full-time Cup Series season, and again losing out on a battle with Kyle Busch. As you recall, he got to battling Kyle Busch at Nashville, and both of them got beat by Chase Elliott, and now at Bristol, they got to battling, and Kyle Busch ended up on top. But there's one thing that Bowyer's got to remember, and he's got his head down right now, and he's looking forward to finally getting that victory to close out the season, but he's got to remember this. He won at Atlanta back in 2019. So even knowing the track has a brand new surface now, and it has not been reconfigured that much, there is some more progressive banking into it, which it did not have before, but new surface, Bowyer could very well close the season with a victory. He's very good on mile-and-a-half type racetracks. 2 of his victories in his championship season were at Texas Motor Speedway and Atlanta Motor Speedway, so he very well could cap off his full-time career with a victory in the final race of the year. He could really win anywhere. He is a proven champion. At this point, it's just kind of a matter of time or of luck if Bowyer will end up in victory lane. Following Bristol Motor Speedway, Justin Allgaier, Kyle Larson, Matt DiBenedetto, and Josh Bilicki all had their championship hopes dashed in the elimination. Larson, obviously, the biggest upset, but remember that Justin Allgaier scored a runner-up finish at Rockingham Speedway. Very big what-ifs to ask this season for Justin Allgaier and Kyle Larson. Both bring home second-place finishes at Rockingham for Allgaier and Darlington for Larson. To quote Kyle Busch himself, if all those seconds were firsts. Now on to some important driver notes. Matt DiBenedetto. His 3-year contract with Team Penske has been terminated extremely early after DiBenedetto's sponsorship relations have dissolved over the recent comments and actions he has taken as of recent. His associations with Freightliner and Dent Wizard have all fallen apart as of recently, as well as Reese. While there's also great philosophical disagreement between DiBenedetto and team owner Roger Penske about how a driver-team relationship should actually be conducted, there were rumors that Penske would release him early, much like what we saw with Jeremy Mayfield back in 2001, especially with the fact that Matt DiBenedetto has been eliminated from the playoffs already. However, DiBenedetto will still finish out the season in the number 2 Ford Mustang with sponsorship coming from Penske Truck Rentals. Penske is very disappointed over how the relationship has dissolved over recent months, especially after reaching a high point at Rogers' very own Indianapolis Motor Speedway, when DiBenedetto claimed the victory in the Brickyard 400 in a close finish above 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson. Now, DiBenedetto is currently without a ride for the 2022 season. Roger Penske is planning on elevating Wood Brothers racing driver Austin Cindric to the number 2 car full-time in 2022. Once Cindric moves over to Penske, the question becomes who will run the number 21 car next season for the Wood Brothers. Well, one rumor that has been gaining a lot of momentum as of recently is Kurt Busch moving over to WBR next year, taking Monster Energy with him. While the Wood Brothers are known for developing young driver talent, they've also taken in savvy veterans before and found relatively good success in it. Most notably, drivers Morgan Shepherd and Ricky Rudd. Odds are that Kurt Busch will not be returning to Chip Ganassi Racing next year to continue driving the number 1 car, and a move to the Wood Brothers would allow him to properly close his career accomplishing his goal of racing the next-gen car full-time. On the other hand, his brother, Kyle Busch, even though he scored the victory, he got himself into major trouble at Bristol Motor Speedway. While describing Austin Cindric, the lap car that was kind of holding up all the leaders in the media press conference following his victory, his word choice has brought NASCAR to require that Kyle Busch complete sensitivity training before the beginning of the 2022 season. There will be no penalties handed out to Kyle Busch that will affect his championship run this year. However, this does already affect his shaky ground that he was on with his sponsors because of his incident with Ryan Unziker back in the spring at the Bristol Dirt Track as well. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that situation. Kyle Busch will still have to complete sensitivity training before the Daytona 500 of next season. And so we've had a bit of a shorter news/recap segment today, but that means that we can spend a lot more time analyzing the next 3 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series races. The top 12 playoff contenders are set. Now the round of 12 presents some of the greatest challenges that any of these competitors will face all season. Short track action in the throwback race at North Wilkesboro, road course racing at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and a dirt race at the Charlotte Dirt Track. All 3 require a unique driving style, but the competitors who are most versatile and can adapt to all 3 will be the ones who will survive into the round of 8, continuing their charge towards a championship. And so now, here are the highlights of the round of 12 races in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series: the Winston 200 from North Wilkesboro Speedway, the Canadian Tire 250 from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and the Bank of America 150 from the Dirt Track at Charlotte. In the race analysis, the Winston 200 from North Wilkesboro Speedway will take place over the course of 200 laps around this 3/5 mile oval here in North Carolina, with stage number 1 coming to its conclusion on lap 50 and stage 2 coming to its conclusion on lap 100. And folks, it is throwback weekend here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Today, the Camping World Truck Series will be doing manufacturer throwbacks. That means the Chevrolet Silverado, Ford F-150s, and Toyota Tundras will be representative of the way the manufacturer's trucks looked back in 1995, the first full season of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. So the manufacturer decals on all 3 manufactured trucks appear to be that of the 1995 body stylization. Think about it, much like when the Chevrolets in the Cup Series in 2007 at Michigan ran throwbacks to the 57 Chevy with decals. Same thing here this weekend, but with all 3 manufacturers. Represented are the 95 Silverado, 95 Ford F-150, and 95 Toyota Tundra, which, by the way, for Toyota, that was the final year that the Toyota Tundra was built in Japan. Keep in mind, this is the first NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race at this facility in 25 years. In fact, there is only one driver in the field who has prior experience at this racetrack, although he is a race winner at this facility. We'll get to him in just a minute. And folks, this is a finesse racetrack. It's not exactly one of the easiest short tracks to pass on, not like how Bristol, you can just move a guy up the racetrack and make the move in a single set of corners. Here at North Wilkesboro, you got to kind of work somebody over the span of about 5 to 6 laps to fully complete a pass. It's very tough to do, and it really lends itself to experienced drivers. And as compared to last year, there is a new asphalt sealer on this racetrack, trying to keep the asphalt together just a little bit more. And what this sealer has done is it's actually changed the way that the rubber lays down to the racetrack. It actually makes it non-preferred down on the inside line once that groove rubbers up. So that means you actually now see multi-groove racing here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. At least we saw it in the practice sessions here at NWS, where over the course of a run, when the bottom line would start to wear in, competitors would start to work their way up the racetrack and try to get those runs off the higher lines. Very interesting to see this racetrack becoming a multi-groove facility. However, even knowing this place has a brand new asphalt sealer, tire management is still very critical. There's a fall off almost about a second and a half after about 40 laps into a run. So it is very, very major here at North Wilkesboro Speedway to keep your rear tires especially on your race car, because they will fall off very quickly with the lack of banking at this facility and getting on the throttle a little bit too hard and experiencing wheel spin coming off of the corner. Keep that right rear tire together over the course of these 200 laps. We saw last year in the Cup Series, even knowing that was on the old surface without the sealer on it, Austin Dillon put on tires late in the race and drove his way all the way up through the field, eventually besting 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson. So we very well could see today's event come down to tire strategy. And there's the man with experience, Jeff Gordon, making his NASCAR Camping World Truck Series debut here today in the number 24 truck for GMS Racing, the Exalta Chevrolet. And believe it or not, Jeff Gordon has rookie stripes on the back of his number 24 Silverado. It's his first ever Truck Series start, even though he was formerly a co-team owner of the number 24 truck when it was fielded by Rick Hendrick in the then NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. But Gordon making his first career start as a driver in the Truck Series, trying to join the illustrious group of competitors that have won in all 3 National Series divisions. And once again, I've talked about this maybe a little bit too much, but this is the playoffs, and it's the round of 12. Win and you're in. You do not want to have to worry about road course racing at Canadian Tire or dirt track racing down in Charlotte. What you want to do optimally is score the victory here today in the Winston 200 and go through the next 2 weeks with almost no concern whatsoever. So here are your point standings coming into today's Winston 200 from North Wilkesboro Speedway following the reset of points after the round of 16 in the Camping World Truck Series. Matt Crafton moves back up to the top of the points board. He is actually tied with Grant Enfinger for the point lead right now. Ben Rhodes sets 8 points out of the point lead. Just take a look, by the way. The top 3 spots, still a Thor Sport Racing lockout. They have absolutely been the most dominant team of the season. Let's see if these final 7 races could possibly break them. Timothy Peters in the 87 for Nemco Motorsports, the only Ford still hang on to a playoff spot. He sets 11 points out of the point lead. Sheldon Creed now 12 points out of the point lead. Ty Dillon 14 points out. Austin Hill and Stuart Friesen both set 15 points out of the point lead. Ty Gibbs 18 points out. And all setting 20 points out of the point lead is Casey Mears, Brennan Poole, and Parker Kligerman. And you see beneath them the 4 drivers who missed the round of 12 in the elimination at Bristol. Currently the highest setting driver in points, who is not eligible for the championship but did make the playoffs, is still the 41 of Dawson Cram. And also the highest driver who did not make the playoffs whatsoever, 17th in points, is Austin Terrio in the 92 for Brad Keselowski Racing. And in the starting lineup for the Winston 200 from North Wilkesboro Speedway, our first race at this facility in 25 years, Parker Kligerman has scored the pole, driving the number 75 truck for Henderson Motorsports. They are still in the playoff hunt and chasing the championship. Brennan Poole qualifies the number 30 truck in second position. He's sporting new colors this weekend because of the Triple Truck Challenge victory that he scored earlier this season. Camping World will be represented on that 30 truck for the entire duration of this round of 12. Austin Terrio qualifies the 92 truck in third position. Brett Holmes in fourth. Ty Gibbs in fifth spot. Timothy Peters in sixth position. Todd Gilliland in seventh. Sheldon Creed in eighth spot. Matt Crafton qualifies in ninth, and Carson Hosevar rounds out the top 10. Other notable starters include the 17 of Bubba Pollard rolling off in 11th position, the 24 of Jeff Gordon qualified in 12th spot for his Camping World Truck Series debut. The 98 of Grant Enfinger will roll off from 14th position. The 46 of Chandler Smith got a good qualifying run starting from 16th spot. The 14 of Sam Mayer will start from 17th position. The 51 of Daniel Hemrick will start in 18th spot. The 12 of Christian Eckes from 19th position. The number 60 of Casey Mears down in 21st. The number 44 truck of James Busher, once again making a Camping World Truck Series start this season. The 2012 Series champ will roll off from 22nd spot. Playoff contender Stuart Friesen starts in 23rd position. The 53 truck of Tim Richmond will start from 25th. The 16 of Austin Hill will start down in 26th position. The 31 of Ty Dillon will start from 29th. The number 3 truck of Brandon McReynolds will start from 30th position. The 41 of Dawson Cram rolls off in 31st. The 25 of Mason Mingus will start from 33rd spot. The 45 of TJ Bell will start from 34th position. The 61 of Max McLaughlin will start from 36th. The 33 of Ryan Truex will roll off in 37th position. The number 6 of Nick Sanchez will start from 38th spot. Playoff contender Ben Rhodes in the number 99 for Thor Sport will roll off in 41st position. And Johnny Sauter in the 13 truck as well for Thor Sport will start from 42nd position. And so the full list of drivers who did not make the field here at North Wilkesboro include the number 5 truck of Jake Finch, the number 8 of Camden Murphy, the 11 of Spencer Davis, the 15 of Tanner Gray, an all too familiar sight for him failing to make an event in the Camping World Truck Series this season. The number 34 of Josh Rayome also failed to make the field. The 56 of Timmy Hill did not make it. The 68 of Clay Greenfield missed the field. The 02 of Tony Breidinger missed it, as well as the 03 of Danny Bone and the 04 of Corey Roper. And the green flag waved here at North Wilkesboro Speedway on the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series for the first time in 25 years. The 75 truck of Parker Kligerman got the advantage down through turns 1 and 2 as the field fanned out into groups of 3 wide racing all throughout the pack. We even had a 4-wide battle for 11th position as Mayer forced it in underneath Jesse Little, Chandler Smith, and Jeff Gordon up on the outside. And Gordon makes contact with the outside wall, as well as the 55 truck of Ty Majeski getting up into the outside wall farther back. The 14 of Sam Mayer backs out into turn 1 to try and avoid an accident. Ironically enough, though, Sam Mayer actually was the accident. Coming up back onto the racetrack, after slowing up on the apron, he makes contact with the 25 truck of Mason Mingus. That causes Mingus to break traction coming off turn 2. Nowhere for the 55 truck of Majeski to go, neither for the 26 of Chase Purdy. They slam into the 25 truck very hard. A lot of front end and rear damage on the 55 truck, and quite a bit of front end damage on the 26 of Chase Purdy as the rest of the field checks up in time, including Johnny Sauter down on the apron. And so already the number 55 truck of Ty Majeski is out of the race following that lap number 2 accident, continuing the string of bad luck that he's had over the course of the 2021 season. Lap number 4, we get some pit strategy with the race leader of Parker Kligerman hitting pit road, as well as the number 92 of Austin Terrio, the 30 of Brendan Poole, as well as many others. However, we have most of the field opt to stay out. So that now makes your top 3 runners the number 18 of Ty Gibbs, the 38 of Todd Gillen, and the 88 of Matt Crafton. 2 of your top 3 are playoff contenders. And if Ty Gibbs can finish where he's running right now, he will actually advance his way into the round of 8. And because we had a long caution period, many teams found this the opportunity to come down and top off on their fuel. Lap number 5, the second lap under the caution flag, Christian Eckes, Casey Mears, and Brandon McReynolds all come down for stop and goes. Lap number 6, we have even more trucks down, including Jesse Little, Haley Deegan, James Busher, Grant Enfinger, as well as another playoff contender of Ben Rhodes, all down for just fuel only. On lap number 9, the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen, the playoff contender, comes down and tops off on his fuel situation as well. And lap 10 marks our final string of trucks down pit road for stop and goes. Those being the 87 of Timothy Peters, who is a playoff contender, the 14 of Sam Mayer, as well as the 40 of Will Rogers and the 09 of Stephen Parsons. And after a very long caution flag, the green comes back out on lap number 11 with Ty Gibbs in the 18 machine getting off to a great jump above fellow playoff contender Matt Crafton, as the 38 of Todd Gillen previously came down pit road to fill up on fuel. And ironically enough, on lap number 11, Todd Gillen restarted from the back of the field due to his fuel-only stop. He comes back down pit road because he has a loose wheel. And obviously, because it was a fuel-only stop, these are the tires that he began the race on. And on the inside of the racetrack, on lap number 12, the 24 of Jeff Gordon makes the move for 4th position on the 17 of Bubba Pollard, now challenging his teammate Sheldon Creed. Lap 13, the 31 truck of Ty Dillon makes an aggressive 3-wide move beneath Bubba Pollard and Jeff Gordon. Pollard makes contact up into the outside wall, overstepping the usable racing line. As you can tell, the 22 truck actually slid off turn 4 and made some contact with the 17 as well. And through turns 1 and 2, Jeff Gordon and Ty Dillon race side by side, with Dillon besting him coming off of the second turn, taking up 4th position. Now the entire top 4 is composed of playoff contenders. Lap 17, we had a close moment with the 09 truck of Stephen Parsons. He gets on the throttle early and slides almost right into the 3 truck of Brandon McReynolds, gets the wheel cocked to where he just barely makes contact with him, and luckily for Parsons, the 42 truck of Carson Hosefar backed off in time to not hook the 09 truck around as he was coming back down the racetrack. Lap 17, Jeff Gordon runs wide once again and makes some more contact up into the outside wall, allowing Austin Wayne Self and Austin Terrio to make the move down on the bottom. Lap 19, we had a very dicey moment among playoff contenders Grant Enfinger and Casey Mears. They make a 4-wide move coming off of turn number 4. Mears pushes up into the left rear quarter panel, the 41 of Dawson Cram, and almost gets clipped by the 25 of Mason Mingus. Mears does a great job at correcting that truck back to the right and slowing it down to make no contact with the inside wall, and everyone keeps it clean, surprisingly. Lap 20, how about this save by Jeff Gordon? Pulls almost the exact same move, gets on the throttle a little too early, slides up into the 22, has to catch it, turns back to the right to stay off the inside wall, and saves the number 24 truck. On lap 20, the 26 of Chase Purdy pushes up into the 40 as they're trying to slow up for the number 6 of Nick Sanchez, who made contact with the wall. 26 touches up into the 40, turns back to the right, makes a little bit of contact with that sand barrel right there, and is trying to remerge up onto the racetrack, realizes he's a little bit too late for a correction, and actually pits by accident. Had no way of correcting that number 26 truck and makes hard contact at almost full speed into the pit road wall and comes down pit road and into his pit stall to get the truck serviced. Obviously a speeding penalty for that number 26, but a very strange entry onto pit road for Chase Purdy. Can't say I've ever seen somebody come down pit road completely by accident. You can see the 6 truck up into the wall. 26 has to react, almost clips that sand barrel, and just comes down pit road at full song. Makes contact with the concrete barrier, which actually helps him slow down for his pit stall. And once again, on lap 21, Jeff Gordon goes for a pretty incredible save. Gets hit in the left rear quarter panel by the 16 of Austin Hill. Hill racing for a championship, tries to move Gordon up out of the way. Gordon slides all the way out of turn number 4 and keeps that truck going in the right direction. And coming into lap number 30, you can really see just how much race leader Ty Gibbs, how much time he's put on the second place runner Matt Crafton. Almost 1 second now separate the top 2 contenders here at North Wilkesboro. On lap 34, John Hunter Nemechek takes advantage of a slowing number 31 of Ty Dillon. Dillon's truck has started to push just a little bit. And John Hunter makes his way up into 5th position, getting one of his best runs of the season. And this is a driver that really needs to build some momentum. Coming into 2022, he knows he will not be back at Kyle Busch Motorsports next season. Needs to make a good impression to land a competitive full-time ride for next year, as the 12 truck of Christian Eckes makes his move on Sheldon Creed to take 3rd. On lap 36, the number 16 of Austin Hill makes a very impressive 3-wide move down to the inside of both Chandler Smith and the 17 of Bubba Pollard, going through turns 3 and 4. And Austin Hill makes his way just a little bit closer towards the top 10 with that move. And if you are any bit familiar with Ty Gibbs' performances that he puts on in the ARCA Racing Series, this should not come as a surprise. In the closing laps of stage number 1, he holds a more than 2-second advantage above 3-time champion Matt Crafton. Now, finally getting up to the tailgates of lap traffic, with now about 2.5 laps to go in stage 1. And so now the white flag waves in stage number 1 for the 18 truck of Ty Gibbs. He appears to still be gapping the 88 of Matt Crafton, while still having to deal with lap traffic up in front of him. Well, that time by Crafton shaved his lead by 0.2 of a second, but still 2.3 seconds separate first and second, rolling through turns 3 and 4. Ty Gibbs will not be able to lap anybody on the racetrack, but that almost is irrelevant. Onto the front straightaway, Gibbs will take home stage number 1. And so Ty Gibbs will take home the stage number 1 victory above the 88 truck of Matt Crafton. Christian Eckes running in 3rd spot, John Hunter Nemechek in 4th, and Sheldon Creed rounding out your top 5. On lap 51, stage number 1 winner Ty Gibbs leads the entirety of the field down pit road. And there was big changes in the running order following the pit cycle. The number 12 truck of Christian Eckes actually cycled out with the race lead above the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek all the way up to 2nd, and Ty Gibbs falling down to 3rd position. We also had some very notable drivers suffer very slow pit stops, including the 24 of Jeff Gordon, 75 of Parker Kligerman, 38 of Todd Gilliland, and 87 of Timothy Peters. All of those drivers had slower pit stops because there had to be slight damage repair on all those trucks due to bent-in fenders from obviously rough and tumble short track racing. And the green flag waved for stage number 2 on lap 56. The 12 truck of Christian Eckes did not get the restart that he wanted on the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek moves him right up off the bottom of the racetrack, dives down to the inside, gets that number 4 truck's left side tires pinned right down on the bottom, uses up all the usable racing surface through turns 3 and 4, forces that 12 truck out of the racing line, and takes away the race lead on the first lap of stage number 2, with his teammate Ty Gibbs following through to take up 2nd. You can see the multi-groove nature of North Wilkesboro really showing itself now, with trucks taking up 3 different distinct racing lines. And while an intense battle for position, playoff driver Matt Crafton gets in trouble on lap 60, gets forced up the racetrack just a little bit by Austin Wayne Self, gets up into the marbles, and makes contact with the outside wall as the field goes almost 4 wide beneath him. Lap number 61, Ty Dillon goes for a huge save on the front straightaway, makes contact with the 98 of Grant Enfinger, a fellow playoff contender, and almost loops that 31 truck around, does a great job keeping it off the inside wall, slides it out both directions, left and right, and gets the thing corrected by the time that he enters turn number 1. Great job by the driver number 31 to keep that truck out of either wall. Lap 67, Tim Richmond in the number 53 truck oversteps his entry to turn number 1 and makes contact with the outside wall all the way through turns 1 and 2. Surprisingly does not have a flat right front tire after that. And you know what, how about this? On lap 68, Chandler Smith makes the move to the inside of playoff contender Austin Hill and makes his way up into 7th position, one of his best runs of the year so far. And you know what, like I mentioned in the pre-race, this is a finesse racetrack, and once a driver gets into a rhythm, they're pretty hard to beat, which is why so far we still have the 2 KBM trucks of John Hunter Nemechek and Ty Gibbs running unchallenged out front, but on lap 83, we have a side-by-side battle for 3rd position. Grant Enfinger makes the move down to the inside of non-playoff contender Christian Eckes. Tries to use him up just a little bit through turns 3 and 4, and Grant Enfinger takes away 3rd spot. And remember earlier on in this race when Chase Purdy accidentally came down pit road due to an on-track incident? Well, right here on lap number 85, Bubba Pollard makes contact with the 41 of Dawson Cram, turning him down into the inside wall on the back straightaway. Cram tries to get the truck corrected, but makes the same exact mistake, commits to pit road, and makes contact with the pit wall. Once again, fortunately, gets down to his pit stall, but this incident actually does bring out the caution flag. And on lap number 88, we have a split in pit strategy. The number 98 of Grant Enfinger, 12 of Christian Eckes. The number 46 of Chandler Smith is well down, along with 2 LGR trucks of Bubba Pollard and Haley Deegan, and many others hit the pits. However, we have quite a few contenders stay out on the racetrack, including John Hunter Nemechek, Ty Gibbs, and now the third-place runner of Austin Terrio. However, all the trucks that opted to stay out on the first lap under caution have decided to come down on the second lap. I guess they are forfeiting any chance of the stage number 2 victory, but trying to go after the race win. So now, John Hunter Nemechek, Ty Gibbs, Austin Terrio, and the rest of the field who skipped out on pitting on the last lap now come down pit road for their service. That cycles out the number 12 of Christian Eckes as the race leader, 98 of Grant Enfinger running in second, and 46 of Chandler Smith now in third. The 41 truck of Dawson Cram is, I believe, 2 laps down because of accidentally coming down pit road. And so the green flag came back out with just 9 laps to go in stage number 2. Lap truck of Dawson Cram restarts right in front of race leader Christian Eckes. Already Eckes tries to make the move down to the inside of the 41. Little bit of bumper-to-bumper contact coming off of turn number 2. Here comes the 46 of Chandler Smith trying to make the move on the inside, going for second. That forces Bubba Pollard wide as his teammate, Haley Deegan, moves by to take up the 4th position. A good run so far for Deegan as the 98 and 12 trucks make contact. Coming down to turn number 1, Enfinger touched the right rear quarter panel of the 12 as the 17 of Bubba Pollard makes contact with the outside wall of turn 2. Battles all throughout this field. And on lap 93, playoff contender Timothy Peters comes down pit road. He has a loose wheel on that number 87 Nemco Ford. That will cost him at least 1 lap to the race leader. And take a look at this. The number 09 of Stephen Parsons has now made his way up into 5th position. 51 of Daniel Hemrick now into 6th. Casey Mears has made his way all the way into 7th as the 98 of Grant Enfinger slid it coming off of turn 4. Trying to chase down the 46 of Chandler Smith, who runs in 2nd position. Also a shout out to James Busher, now making his name known in the top 10, currently resides in 8th position. But the caution flag waved on lap number 95, bringing a premature end to stage number 2. Right there you see the number 6 truck of Nick Sanchez gets hard onto the throttle and actually bumps the number 2 truck up the racetrack just a little bit. The 40 of Will Rogers is already sliding coming off of turn number 2. He makes contact with the outside wall and bottles up the field right here. Gets clipped in the left rear by the 2 of Sheldon Creed, a playoff contender. Creed then gets hit down to the 22 up into his teammate Zane Smith and into another playoff contender, that being the 75 of Parker Kligerman. Right there, Kligerman tries to slow down. The 21 of Zane Smith makes a little bit more contact. And there's the already damaged 25 of Mason Mingus up on the top of the track, nowhere to go, and slams right in to the tailgate of the 2 truck. And look at Ty Gibbs, missed this accident through turns 3 and 4. A great bit of driving right there, as well as out of the 38 of Todd Gillen. But this crash actually knocks the 25 of Mason Mingus out of the race with severe radiator damage. And so coming off the final corner, that caution will bring the end of stage number 2. Christian Eckes takes home the stage 2 victory. As you see farther back, you got the 75 of Parker Kligerman up against the outside wall, finishing the stage. But Christian Eckes wins stage 2 above Chandler Smith in the 46 truck. The number 98 of Grant Enfinger 3rd, 1 of Haley Deegan in 4th, and 09 of Stephen Parsons rounding out your top 5. And so the green flag waves for the 3rd and final stage here at North Wilkesboro on lap 101. And once again, race leader Christian Eckes does not get the restart that he wanted. This time gets moved up by a different KBM truck. This time it was Chandler Smith in the number 46 Safelite Toyota Tundra, making the move down on the inside of the racetrack to take away the race lead. Coming back to the start-finish line, they run side by side. At the line, it was scored as the 46 being the race leader. Right there, the 12 truck moves up the racetrack, trying to get a little bit of that momentum off the outside, so he pulls him on the straightaway. That multi-groove racing that we would never see here at North Wilkesboro before they seal this racetrack. Now here comes the 98 down on the inside. Trying to make it 3 wide for the race lead as the 38 of Todd Gillens back down pit road. Now the 98 cuts back in line and the 46 clears the field. Incredible racing here in the final stage at North Wilkesboro. And as if Todd Gillens' luck was not bad enough, recall that earlier on in this race he had to pit for a loose wheel, this time a flat tire. We also had some very intriguing pit strategy out of 2 Thor Sport trucks, those being the 98 of Ben Rhodes and the 13 of Johnny Sauter. They both came down pit road hoping for absolutely no cautions to end out this stage, and they believe that by short pitting this early, that by the end of this next pit cycle that they will cycle out as the race leaders. However, they will have much worse tires than their competition. And Chandler Smith's lead was a little bit short-lived. On lap 105, he moves up the racetrack just a little bit, trying to get that high side momentum, and potentially some dirty air was put onto his nose by the 13 of Johnny Sauter, and that allowed the 98 of Grant Enfinger, the playoff contender, to make the move down on the inside of the racetrack, taking away the race lead in that number 98 for Thor Sport Racing through turns 3 and 4. 46 truck, though, still trying to hang on to second, using that momentum off the outside line. And watch this, coming down into turn number 1, they make a little bit of contact as the 46 tried to send it way off into turn number 1 and made slight contact left front to right rear between the 46 and 98, but fortunately for Enfinger, they did not hook. So Enfinger still manages to get out of this mess with the race lead and clearing the field. As you see farther back, the 53 truck of Tim Richmond made contact with the outside wall, and the 24 of Jeff Gordon actually had to avoid him. And by lap 115, the number 24 truck of Jeff Gordon, he has driven his way all the way up into 11th position. Could actually be a contender for the victory here today at North Wilkesboro if he continues his march towards the front. He might be a rookie, but I can assure you he is nowhere near rookie status when it comes to experience, especially at this racetrack being the final winner of a Cup Series event at this facility until he returned to this track last year. And how about this on lap 122? The 09 of Stephen Parsons actually works his way beneath the number 46 of Chandler Smith and battles that truck side by side for the second position. And this battle for second spot has allowed the number 98 of Grant Enfinger to gap them by almost about a second and a half, but right there, the Phoenix Racing Toyota of Stephen Parsons takes away second. And you know, the previously dominant 18 and 4 trucks out of the Kyle Busch Motorsports stable have really fallen off. By lap 129, Ty Gibbs runs in 17th position, and the 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek all the way down in 21st. On lap 131, Matt Crafton starts somewhat overdriving his equipment, running all the way down in 28th position, makes contact with fellow playoff contender Parker Kligerman, almost turns him down pit road, but Kligerman turns hard right, back up into the 88 of Matt Crafton, essentially trying to send a message that he will not be pushed around in such a way, forces the 88 of Matt Crafton way wide and up into the outside wall. Kligerman quickly getting revenge on the 88 truck of Matt Crafton, and that drops Crafton outside the top 30. Lap 135, Crafton gets back down to the inside of Kligerman and actually forces him way up the racetrack, entering turn number 1. Almost looked like it could have been accidental, but still he really forced the 75 truck up the racetrack. But then watch this move by Crafton 2 laps after that. We actually get a caution flag for this. Crafton really runs the corner wide, trying to catch up to the 3 truck of Brandon McReynolds, who's already almost up into the outside wall himself. Then Brandon hits the wall. Matt Crafton catches the left rear quarter panel of the 3 truck, gets very sideways, actually clips the inside wall and that sand barrel right there into the inside wall once again, and actually gets the 88 truck fully corrected without coming down pit road. But the NASCAR officials throw out the caution flag for this one as there was debris everywhere, and he could have came back up into the racetrack and started a large accident entering turn number 3. And that caution flag unfortunately traps the number 99 and 13 trucks of Ben Rhodes and Johnny Sauter 1 lap behind their race leader and teammate Grant Enfinger. As on lap 138, Enfinger leads the entire lead lap field down pit road for what could likely be the final pit stop of the day. And have a look at this change coming off of pit road. Following the pit cycle, the 09 of Stephen Parsons is now your race leader here at North Wilkesboro. The number 98 of Grant Enfinger now runs in 2nd position, and the 12 of Christian Eckes running in 3rd. How about this? James Busher runs in 4th spot, Daniel Hemrick in 5th as well, and Jeff Gordon's now broken his way up into the top 10. And the green flag waves on lap 142 for Stephen Parsons in the number 09 truck for Phoenix Racing. Through turns 1 and 2, the 98 of Grant Enfinger forces him up the racetrack just a little bit, trying to get side by side, coming down to turn number 3. Here comes Enfinger. He makes the move down to the bottom. Forces the 09 truck of Stephen Parsons up the hill as there's now a battle for third spot. Enfinger takes away the race lead. On coming down to turn number 1, look at this crossover by the 09 of Stephen Parsons. Got right up to the tailgate of the number 98, loosened him up coming into the first turn, made the full-on crossover, and he's back out front. Through turns 3 and 4, Stephen Parsons, once again your race leader, as the 33 hits pit road, and the 12 of Christian Eckes got very loose off the front bumper of the 44 of James Busher. Busher on a mission right now, going for third spot. The 33 of Ryan Truex was down pit road for a vibration, most likely a loose wheel. And the 44 of James Busher now takes up the third spot here at North Wilkesboro. Daniel Hemrick hoping to follow suit on the bottom of the racetrack to assume fourth position. Oh, but the battle for the race lead was anything but over. Coming through turns 3 and 4 on lap 147, 98 of Enfinger gets the 09 truck loose, forces him up the racetrack just a little bit. Really forced that front bumper of the number 98 truck into a small space. They get side by side through turns 1 and 2. And Enfinger, now your race leader once again, on lap 148 here at North Wilkesboro, trying to win his way into the round of 8. And how about this, running in third position? That 44 truck of James Busher is really rolling good momentum on the top of the racetrack, running a completely different racing line from the top 2 competitors. Runs it in very high up the racetrack and can pinch off the exit of the 51 of Daniel Hemrick, forcing him to slide coming off turn 4. And on lap 150, the 09 truck of Stephen Parsons works his way back down to the inside of the 98. They race each other cleanly, and the 98 actually bests him off the top of the racetrack, clearing him right there coming off of turn number 4. And today's Winston 200 from North Wilkesboro was looking to be a career day for Stephen Parsons and/or his first career victory. But through turns 1 and 2 on lap 152, the engine lets go on the 09 Phoenix Construction Toyota Tundra of Stephen Parsons, bringing out the caution flag and unfortunately ending what has been so far Stephen Parsons' potentially greatest career race. And take a look at who has worked his way up into the top 5. It's the number 52 of Stuart Friesen, now currently running in 4th position, while Jeff Gordon sets in 7th spot, quickly making his way up through the field, as well as the 14 of Sam Mayer, now running in 9th, and the 19 of Derek Kraus getting a good run in 10th position. Also a great run all day long so far for Haley Deegan, running in 8th position, one of her best showings this season on a non-super speedway. Likely due to the fact that the Fords, as we've mentioned all season long, new front-end aero regulations bring a lot more downforce in the front ends of these Ford F-150s and has definitely benefited teams such as Nemco and LGR. And the green flag flies once again on lap 158 for Grant Enfinger, and this time Enfinger got a perfect restart above the 44 of James Busher, and even greater restart on the 51 of Daniel Hemrick. Down the back straightaway, already putting more than half a second on the third place runner. Lap 159, we have our biggest crash of the afternoon. Coming off of turn number 2, the 53 truck of Tim Richmond pushes wide, gets up into the outside wall, and gets clipped in the left rear by the 13 of Johnny Sauter, down into the 21 of Zane Smith, turning Smith around. Right there on the inside, you see the 45 of TJ Bell making contact with the 53 of Tim Richmond, and we are very, very close to the edge of the pit road attenuator wall. They managed to perfectly split it. 45 and 53 trucks accidentally coming down pit road, and the 33 truck of Ryan Truex missing the pit road attenuator wall by mere inches. Quite a few trucks involved in this one, including massive amounts of damage on the number 2 of Sheldon Creed, who is a playoff contender. And here's where Sheldon Creed got the damage, trying to slow up, makes contact with the 38 of Todd Gillen in a lot of front-end damage. And that is overall going to be a very big hit for Sheldon Creed, one of our best runners this season, chasing that championship. Looks like his day might just be done. And so that crash down the back straightaway and entering turn number 3 has in fact ended Sheldon Creed's day here in the Winston 200. That's going to put him in a very large hole in points for these next 2 races of this round of 12 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. And the green flag flies once again on lap 168 for race leader Grant Enfinger. But entering turn number 1, he leaves a little bit of the bottom of the racetrack open, allows the 44 of James Busher to fill that gap on the bottom of the racetrack. He's got the 51 of Daniel Hemrick all over his tailgate. Now through turns 3 and 4, the 2012 Camping World Truck Series champion takes away the race lead. James Busher out front here at North Wilkesboro. Jeff Gordon up into 5th position. Daniel Hemrick trying to take up 2nd now off of Grant Enfinger, and only one playoff contender in the top 5 as farther back the 19 of Derek Kraus made hard contact up into the outside wall. And as you can tell, the number 99 of Ben Rhodes was back down pit road. That was due to damage that he suffered from the last crash. He got up into the outside wall while trying to avoid the accident. On lap 168, the 98 truck of Grant Enfinger gets moved up the racetrack even more. Daniel Hemrick flies by on the inside to take up the 2nd position. His teammate, Chandler Smith, will take over 3rd spot as the 98 of Enfinger still drops back. James Busher currently holds the race lead by about 0.3 of a second above the 51 of Daniel Hemrick. Lap 170, we have a KBM battle for 2nd spot as the 46 truck of Chandler Smith makes the move down to the inside, the 51 of Daniel Hemrick, and Smith takes away the 2nd position, searching for his first career NASCAR Camping World Truck Series victory. Today's been a breakout day for quite a few drivers that have struggled all season, such as Haley Deegan, Chandler Smith, Derek Kraus, and Stephen Parsons. It's been very interesting seeing these youngsters take to such a difficult racetrack like North Wilkesboro Speedway. But right now, we got one of our veterans, 31-year-old James Busher, and 2012 Series champion out front with 30 laps to go. Lap 175, late model ace Bubba Pollard goes for a very large slide down the front straightaway while trying to stay off playoff contender Brennan Poole's left rear quarter panel. And how about this tale of never giving up? The 88 truck of Matt Crafton, after all he's been through over the course of this 176 laps completed out of 200, he's climbed his way all the way back into 10th position, and he just about completely junked this truck earlier, almost making contact with the pit road attenuator wall. Lap 180, the number 97 truck of Jesse Little comes down pit road for a flat right front tire. Lap 186, Ty Gibbs has started to make his way back towards the front of the field, now running in 8th position, as well as the 52 of Stuart Friesen. He's made his way up in the 9th spot, passing Jeff Gordon right there through turns 1 and 2. These drivers salvaging rather good points days. Lap 188, the 98 truck of Grant Enfinger makes the move down to the inside of the 12 of Christian Eckes and actually takes up the 3rd position with this move. Trying to mount a very late race charge back towards the front of the field, but take a look at the lead gap that 44 truck of James Busher has put on the 2nd place runner of Chandler Smith. It's now more than 1.5 seconds separating 1st and 2nd. Lap 190, Parker Kligerman has gone really nowhere over the last 50 or so laps of this race. Currently resides all the way down in 27th position. And by lap 195, race leader James Busher has started to reel in lap traffic. However, that's not that much of a concern, because the lap truck is the 45 of TJ Bell, who is his teammate. Almost certainly Bell will let him by with ease. However, the separation from 1st to 2nd has been cut down to 1.3 seconds, now extended out to 1.5 seconds. So even running in dirty air, the 44 truck of James Busher is still gapping the 46. It will take a major mistake out of James Busher to let this one slide by. Lap 198, the 44 truck easily laps his teammate of TJ Bell. However, the lead gap is down to just 0.9 of a second between James Busher and the 46 truck of Chandler Smith. Going through the final 2 corners, the 44 truck of James Busher has just 1 lap to go around this 3/5 mile to score his first Camping World Truck Series victory in nearly 8 years. It's been a long time coming. He won the 2012 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Championship, had his career almost completely derailed, went into real estate, has finally came back over the last 2 seasons, and is now once again a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series winner. James Busher back in victory lane here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. James Busher scores the victory by 1.5 seconds above Chandler Smith, who wouldn't have even been in high school the last time that James Busher scored a victory in the Camping World Truck Series. The 98 of Enfinger brought it home in 3rd spot, 51 of Daniel Hemrick in 4th position, and 12 of Christian Eckes rounding out the top 5. And so James Busher has scored the victory, his first in 8 years in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. He started down in 22nd position. Now, we talked all throughout the pre-race at this track is very difficult to pass on, but through pit strategy, he managed to make his way from 22nd, and with some smart driving on the racetrack, all the way to the race lead, taking home the race victory with 36 laps led. Chandler Smith started from 16th position, drove his way all the way up to 2nd, just barely missing out on his first career Truck Series victory. The highest running playoff contender was Grant Enfinger, who led a race-high 50 laps and finished down in 3rd spot. Daniel Hemrick brought home the number 51 for Kyle Busch Motorsports in 4th position. Christian Eckes finished in 5th spot in the number 12 truck for Starcom Speed Station. Austin Theriault brought his 92 truck home in 6th spot. Haley Deegan with a great 7th place finish in the number 1 for LGR. If they can keep that momentum going, they most likely will have a very strong campaign in 2022. Stuart Friesen brought home his own number 52 truck in 8th position, a very good points day. And then you have Matt Crafton, who started his number 88 truck in 9th position and finished in 9th position. But I'll tell you, there was quite a bit of battling in between qualifying and the race for that number 88 team. They almost wrecked the truck twice in a span of just 10 laps. Matt Crafton and Junior Joyner did not give up on that truck and brought it home in 9th spot with a very good points day in their quest for a 4th and record-tying championship. John Hunter Nemechek, he has not had very much momentum this season. We already know he's not going to be at KBM next year. However, he brings home a much-needed 10th place finish as well as having 32 laps led here today. Jeff Gordon, in his first ever career NASCAR Camping World Truck Series start, finished in 11th position in the number 24 truck for GMS Racing. And finally, we have Ty Gibbs, who was the stage number 1 winner. He fell back just a little bit in the final few laps of the race, down to 12th position, but still a relatively decent points day for that playoff contender. And following the Winston 200 here from North Wilkesboro, here are your updated point standings. Grant Enfinger now has the highest margin above the cutoff line, a full 41 points, nearly one race. Matt Crafton, with his 9th place finish, now sets 35 points above the cutoff line. Stuart Friesen sets 21 points above. Ty Gibbs, 14 points above. Ty Dillon, 13 above. Brendan Poole, almost surprisingly, sets 10 points above the cutoff line. Austin Hill in the number 16 truck sets 8 points above the line. Casey Mears, 6 points above. And here are your drivers who set on the outside now looking in. It's a very close battle, actually, all the way from 3rd down to 12th in playoff standings. Well, we have Ben Rhodes setting 6 points out of an advancement into the round of 8, as well as Timothy Peters, just 6 points on the outside looking in. He is the only remaining Ford in championship contention. Then you have the 75 truck of Parker Kligerman, certainly not happy with the number 88 team of Matt Crafton. He currently sets 9 points out of making the round of 8. And Sheldon Creed finally with his DNF here today at North Wilkesboro. The defending champion now sets 12th position in playoff points, 10 points out of making the next round. And just for the fun of it, here's an update on your competitors not racing for a championship, those including the 4 drivers who are eliminated and the rest of the field battling outside the playoff spots. Currently, Christian Eckes is the highest driver in point standings to be eliminated, followed by Brett Holmes, Dawson Cram, and Ryan Truex. And then you have the best driver who did not even make the playoffs whatsoever, that being Austin Theriault, who sets 17th in points. Behind him, we have Zane Smith, Ty Majeski, and Todd Gilliland. And so now we move on to the Canadian Tire 250 from the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. In the race analysis, today's Canadian Tire 250 from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park will take place over the course of 64 laps around this famed road course in Bowmanville, Canada, with stage number 1 coming to its conclusion on lap 21 and stage 2 coming to its conclusion on lap 42. Keep in mind, folks, that there is actually more runoff here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park this year than there has been in years prior. This will likely lead to some more aggressive moves being made into corners because you don't have that constant threat of a gravel trap if you just barely miss your corner. However, there really isn't that much runoff in areas that could benefit you to run onto it. Unlike what we see at Watkins Glen, where drivers will say run the carousel wide on purpose to try and get up onto that runoff and carry better lap time, the difference is here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the runoff is just there so you can keep your truck in the race. If you run onto the runoff, it does not help your lap time whatsoever, with the exception of a slight amount of runoff that was put in up in Moss Corner. And folks, this is very much a flowing road course with a lot of elevation changes, very unique, a very fun circuit, but it is very difficult to pass. If you want to pull off a passing maneuver at this facility, you're likely going to have to set up the truck in front of you through Moss Corner, get a good exit of that corner coming onto the Mario Andretti straightaway, and beat them down in the S's. In particular, the braking zone into turn number 8, where you can force a truck up on your outside to concede their position. But because passing is a very difficult thing to pull off here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, pit strategy will be of the utmost importance. Over the course of these 64 laps, short pitting to try and get that track position and cycle out up in front of more competitive trucks could be a race-winning decision here in the Canadian Tire 250. This race is also the final road course race that will be contested in the 2021 season, and this potentially marks the final opportunity for a driver with a road course specialty to take home a victory in the 2021 season. And speaking of that, there are a multitude of road course ringers in this field, such as Alex Tagliani and Kevin Lacroix, who is driving the number 53 truck. And I've said this an awful lot over the course of these playoffs, but you know what? I'm going to keep hammering it in. Win and you are in. Take home the victory here today in the Canadian Tire 250, and you do not have to worry about surviving your way through the Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track. Every single one of these top 12 playoff contenders would love to walk out of this place knowing that they have secured a spot in the round of 8. And in your starting lineup, road course ace Will Rogers has scored the pole here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, bouncing back on the road courses following his horrifying tumble at Watkins Glen International earlier this season. John Hunter Nemechek put his number 4 truck on the outside pole, and recall that John Hunter is a former winner at this facility back in 2016. Sheldon Creed rebounds from his DNF at North Wilkesboro to qualify that number 2 truck in 3rd position. Ty Dillon will start from 4th position. Todd Gillen will roll off in 5th spot. Parker Kligman will start that number 75 truck from 6th spot. Austin Hill qualified in 7th spot. Kevin Lacroix in 8th position. Christian Eckes will start from 9th, and Max McLaughlin rounds out your top 10 in the number 61 for Hattori Racing Enterprises. Other notable starters include the number 99 of Ben Rhodes, who will start from 11th position. The 25 of Mason Mingus, who will roll off in 16th spot. The 30 of Brennan Poole, the playoff contender, who will start from 18th position. Then the number 60 of Casey Mears, who will start from 19th spot. And the 88 of Matt Crafton rolling off in 21st position. The 18 of Ty Gibbs will start from 22nd spot. The 44 of Jet Nolan will roll off in 24th position. The 24 of Raphael Lassard in his home race will roll off from 25th spot. Playoff contender Timothy Peters will start his number 87 Nemco Motorsports Ford from 26th position. The number 98 of Grant Enfinger will start in 29th spot. The number 3 of Sage Karam making his NASCAR Camping World Truck Series debut as the road course ringer for Anderson Germain Racing will roll off from 30th position. The 45 of TJ Bell will start from 32nd spot. The 51 of Alex Tagliani will start down in 33rd. The number 8 truck of Mike Skeen will start from 34th position. The 46 of Chandler Smith will start down in 35th spot. The 17 of Taylor Gray will start from 36th position. The 02, once again being driven by Chris Wright, who has now been relegated to Young's Motorsports road course ringer. He will start from 38th position. The number 03 of Scott Lagasse Jr., who recently won at Watkins Glen International in the Truck Series, claiming his first career victory. He will start down in 40th. And playoff contender Stuart Friesen at his home racetrack will start from 41st position. Finally, the number 6 truck of Nick Sanchez barely made the field, starting from 42nd position. And the list of drivers who failed to make today's event include the number 11 of Spencer Davis, the number 15 of Tanner Gray, once again missing out on a Camping World Truck Series race. The number 26 of Chase Purdy failed to make the field, and so did the number 56 of Tyler Hill. And if you're noticing the number 14 of Sam Mayer absent, that is because he is running the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Michigan International Speedway, and the number 14 team of Tony Stewart Racing opted to skip this weekend's event at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And when the green flag flew for the Canadian Tire 250 here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, believe it or not, the second place qualifier of John Hunter Nemechek actually got the advantage coming off of turn number 1, because he really pinched the number 40 of Will Rogers down on the inside of the racetrack, and Rogers got loose running over the curbing. John Hunter Nemechek, now your race leader here in Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And we had some intense battling coming up Moss Corner mid-pack. Watch this move by Jet Nolan down on the inside. Makes a 3-wide move beneath Matt Crafton. and Ty Gibbs. Also on the inside of the racetrack, the 13 of Johnny Sauter got swarmed by the 87 of Timothy Peters, 19 of Derek Krause, and 24 of Raphael Lassard, making his way up the Mario Andretti straightaway and down that long straightaway, reaching speeds in excess of 166 miles an hour. The 19 of Derek Krause beat him coming in to turn number 8. Also at the end of lap number 1, the 41 truck of Dawson Cram ran it off course coming off of White's corner. The final turn on the racetrack, causing the field to bottle up just a little bit. Coming down to turn number 1, a 3-wide move made on the inside by Taylor Gray. He backs out of it. Now Austin Wayne Self gets around Mike Skeen. And ironically enough, the number 52 truck of Stuart Friesen currently runs all the way down in 42nd position. On lap number 3 in Moss Corner, the 61 of Max McLaughlin makes contact with the right rear of the 55 of Ty Majeski, turning him sideways coming off of the corner. Right up in front of the field, he gets the truck corrected, and no caution flag comes out. And while the field was checking up for the sliding number 55 truck, Matt Crafton went very wide coming off of Moss Corner, got put 3 wide by Ty Gibbs right there, and Timothy Peters tries to cut back in line, makes contact with the number 18 truck and actually slides through the dirt, but Matt Crafton keeps that truck going in the right direction, and still no caution. On lap number 5, we have ourselves a battle for the race lead as Will Rogers really sends it into Moss Corner and gets side by side with John Hunter Nemechek. We discussed before in the pre-race, it's very difficult to pass at this facility, and John Hunter beats him on acceleration coming off of turn number 5. Lap 6, we have yet another run-in in Moss Corner. This time, playoff contender Grant Enfinger makes contact with the right rear of the 41 of Dawson Cram, sending him sideways. Cram gets that truck corrected, and no caution flag comes out, as a 22 truck right there slid sideways on the curbing. We had a battle on lap number 7 between Austin Hill in the 16 truck and Kevin Lacroix in the number 53 truck. And up on the outside line in turn number 1, Austin Hill takes up the 6th position for Hattori Racing Enterprises. Lap number 7, the 31 truck of Ty Dillon made a great run on the 40 of Will Rogers coming up into turn number 8. However, he got outbroke in turn number 8 through the S's, and the 40 truck of Will Rogers almost up into the dirt, slides right up in front of the 31 of Ty Dillon, and continues to hold that 2nd position. And the number 16 truck of Austin Hill is on a move. Lap number 10, coming up turn number 5, just barely makes a little bit of contact into the 75 truck of Parker Kligerman, moves him up the racetrack out of Moss Corner, and takes away the 5th position for Hattori Racing Enterprises, continuing his march towards the front of the field. Fast forward to lap number 13, Will Rogers once again sets up a great move into Moss Corner on the 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek, but just like last time, Nemechek puts the power down better than the number 40 truck and clears him coming out of turn number 5. And on lap 14, there was an excessively intense battle for last position. Nick Sanchez and Stuart Friesen going after it. Right there, Sanchez runs wide out of White's corner, up onto the curbs and into the dirt. They make a little bit of contact right there. Stuart Friesen gets down to the inside of the 6 truck of Nick Sanchez. Once again, Sanchez runs it wide. Friesen tries to get in there and catch up with him. Sanchez cuts across the nose of the 52 truck, and they both go into the wall. 6 gets completely turned around, bounces off the outside and inside walls, bringing out the caution flag. And this actually knocks the number 6 of Nick Sanchez out of the Canadian Tire 250 here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Stuart Friesen will continue. However, he has pretty significant damage on that Toyota Tundra as well. And on lap number 15, John Hunter Nemechek leads literally the entire field down pit road. And the first truck off pit road was John Hunter Nemechek, getting out once again with the race lead. But now your new 2nd place runner is Ty Dillon, getting around the 40 truck of Will Rogers off of pit road. Once again, it's very hard to pass here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, but if you can give your driver track position, it is very likely that they will be able to keep it. And the green flag flies once again on lap number 17. On the restart, we have trucks already running up into the dirt coming out of White's corner, and a battle for 2nd position, but the 40 truck of Will Rogers overdrives it and lets the 16 of Austin Hill make the move up on the outside now. Through Clayton Corner, the number 16 of Austin Hill battling side by side with the number 40 truck of Will Rogers for 3rd position. While gapping the field in 1st and 2nd, we have John Hunter Nemechek and Ty Dillon. We've got a almost perfect restart now. Will Rogers gets around the number 16 of Austin Hill to once again clear for that 3rd spot. On lap number 18, Parker Kligerman, Jet Noland, and Ty Majeski all hit pit road, hoping to short pit the field for the end of stage number 1. On lap number 19, Ty Dillon doing a great job at hounding the tailgate of that number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek, keeping him nervous and hopefully pressuring him into making a mistake, because it's very difficult to pass here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. You have to hope that the competitor up in front of you makes the mistake for you, allowing you to slip by, preferably on the inside. On lap number 20, entering turn number 1, Christian Eckes turns in just a little bit too soon, actually clips the inside wall just a little bit while running in 8th position. And so, folks, by the final lap of stage number 1, John Hunter Nemechek had actually managed to put a 7/10 of a second separation above the second-place runner of Ty Dillon, not giving in to any of the pressuring whatsoever. Now on to the Mario Andretti straightaway for the final time in stage number 1. He has a pretty clear margin. Got a great exit of turn number 5 on the 31 truck of Ty Dillon. Let's take a listen to these trucks run up this Andretti straightaway, how quick it is. Almost 170 miles an hour at the end of that straightaway, coming into the tight S's of turns 8, 9, and 10. Here comes John Hunter Nemechek out of White's corner. And onto the front straightaway, John Hunter Nemechek will take home the stage number 1 victory in a dominant performance already here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. John Hunter Nemechek, who is not running for a championship this season, brings home the stage number 1 victory above Ty Dillon in 2nd, Will Rogers in 3rd, Austin Hill in 4th position, and Kevin Lacroix actually rounding out the top 5 in the number 53 truck. And directly after the conclusion of stage number 1 under the caution flag period, only 2 trucks came down pit road, those being the number 41 of Dawson Cram and the 22 of Austin Wayne Self. However, when the field was taking the green flag, we actually had several trucks come down pit road to try and maximize their fuel mileage, because obviously you cannot drop 1 lap down by pitting here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. So drivers Christian Eckes, Casey Mears, Raphael Lassard, and Matt Crafton actually all pitted with the pace car as the rest of the field took the green flag. So while those trucks hit the pits, the green flag flew once again for stage number 2 as the field already sliding it out into the dirt through White's corner. The number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek got the advantage on the restart. The 31 truck of Ty Dillon all over the tailgate of that number 4 machine. The 40 of Will Rogers starting to drop back just a little bit. And the 16 of Austin Hill just barely in tow behind them, running through the dirt right there, coming through Quebec corner. And by lap number 26, you could tell there was a bit of a stalemate out front as the competitors were just somewhat trying to make a fuel number for later strategy in today's event. However, there was a battle coming up through the S's for 2nd position. Will Rogers started to make some moves on the 31 of Ty Dillon, trying to force Ty into making a mistake right here through White's corner. Turn 10, Ty Dillon leaves some of the bottom open, but he gets the power down very well coming off of turn 10, and down to turn number 1, clears the 40 down the front straightaway. Ty Dillon still remains in 2nd position with now a half a second separation between 1st and 2nd, Nemechek and Dillon. 4 trucks right now have broken away mainly from the rest of the field. Lap 27, we have a crash coming through the S's. You see the already damaged number 30 truck of Brennan Poole missing his hood. Gets to racing side by side with Johnny Sauter through the S's right there out of turn 8. Gets into the dirt just a little bit, slides dead sideways, tries to get the thing corrected into turn 9, and clips the 13 of Johnny Sauter hard into the outside tire barrier, knocking both trucks out of the race. And that crash is especially going to be a big hit in points for the number 30 of Brennan Poole, being a playoff contender that might just put him into a deep points hole coming in to the Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track. Lap 29, the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek gets caught off guard by the rest of the field's pit strategy. Literally every single truck comes down pit road with the exception of the damaged number 98 of Grant Enfinger and the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek was caught off guard by the pit strategy, and the number 98 truck of Grant Enfinger did not have to come down pit road this time by because he recently serviced that truck to get some of that damage repaired. And the top 3 trucks off pit road are Ty Dillon, Will Rogers, and Kevin Lacroix. And on lap number 30, we have 2 trucks still stuck on pit road while the rest of the field is pacing. Those being both playoff contenders of Parker Kligerman and the 16 of Austin Hill. We hear that Hill's truck is overheating and that the 75 truck of Parker Kligerman has just yet to refire. And lap 30, the second place runner of Grant Enfinger hits pit road with the pace car as John Hunter Nemechek sees the green flag on lap 30 as here goes the 87 of Timothy Peters sliding all the way through the dirt, as well as Stuart Friesen, and the 88 truck of Matt Crafton also pitted with the pace truck. 4 sport trucks trying to go off strategy with each other, with both Grant Enfinger and Matt Crafton down pit road this time by. And watch this move by Kevin Lacroix up Moss Corner. Gets down to the inside of the number 40 of Will Rogers. 2 very experienced road course racers right there. Gets the power down and clears him down the Mario Andretti straightaway. Lap 32, the number 75 truck of Parker Kligerman finally comes off pit road, 2 laps behind race leader John Hunter Nemechek. That margin is almost impossible to make up on a road course such as Canadian Tire. And the next lap around, the number 16 of Austin Hill finally gets off pit road. After suffering from overheating issues, he is now 3 laps behind the race leader. Lap 33, the caution flag comes out. As you see right there, the 31 truck of Ty Dillon started to reel in the number 4, but pay attention to the third place runner of Kevin Lacroix. Gets slowed up right there just a little bit coming out of Moss Corner. The 40 truck tries to fill that gap and clips the 53 in the right rear, and there goes Zane Smith. Nowhere to go, makes contact with the 53 truck. Now he's trying to reverse back down the racetrack, gets slammed by the 44 of Jet Noland. A little bit of contact right there with the 23 of Brett Holmes. Gets that truck back going. However, this does bring out yet another caution flag. And racing back to the caution flag, we had a very strange incident through the S's. Quite a few trucks got up onto the flat and actually made contact with the outside concrete wall, including Carson Hosevar, Max McLaughlin, Parker Kligerman, and the 09 of Stephen Parsons, all just kind of following each other up into the wall. Right there, Sage Karam gets sideways as well, makes contact with the 42, actually bringing him back onto the asphalt. Lap 34, we have yet another pit strategy split. Race leader John Hunter Nemechek comes down pit road, as well as Zane Smith, Timothy Peters, Jet Nolan, and the rest of the trucks that got damaged over the course of the most recent lap. And so that means your race leader is now Ty Dillon in the number 31 truck for Germain Racing, above the number 2 of Sheldon Creed and the 40 of Will Rogers. And we have even more pit strategy as the pace car hits pit road and the field takes the green flag. As well, the pace car hits the pits. The 25 of Mason Mingus, 3 of Sage Karam, 51 of Alex Tagliani, 8 of Mike Skeen, 22 of Austin Wayne Self, and 88 of Matt Crafton all ducked down pit road while the field takes the green. Obviously, you cannot fall 1 lap down from pitting, especially as the field takes the green flag here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. So it is a strategy call by those teams to come down pit road and try to refuel their race trucks. And so just take a look at all this action on the restart. 31 truck of Ty Dillon takes the green flag. We got trucks sliding into the grass. Quite a few trucks on pit road, and watch the 09 completely slides out and makes contact with the tire barrier and gets hit by the playoff contender of Brennan Poole, bring out the caution flag already. And on lap number 37, the number 38 truck of Todd Gillen comes down pit road for service all by himself. And the green flag comes back out once again on lap number 39 with just a few laps to go in stage number 2. The field really getting aggressive coming out of White's Corner, sliding all the way out onto the dirt, including Sage Karam going a full truck width into the dirt, with the number 31 of Ty Dillon getting a good advantage through the first 2 corners above the second place runner of Sheldon Creed. How about this? The number 02 of Chris Wright currently runs in 7th position for Young's Motorsports. We now have a battle for 5th position. Kevin Lacroix on the inside of the 23 of Brett Holmes. Now these 2 run side by side through turn 4. And it looks like the 23 is going to hold the advantage up Moss Corner unless the 53 can really send it in on the bottom. Gets right up to the tailgate. Puts a little bit of a bumper to him. They run side by side up the Andretti straightaway. Almost make a little bit of contact right there. And a great battle at in excess of 150 miles an hour up the Mario Andretti straightaway for 5th position. A dead heat coming up the hill. Who will give up the spot coming into turn number 8? It's nobody. Neither give in. They run side by side through the S's. Right now the 23 truck inching ahead just a little bit. 53 truck coming back. Side by side at the line. Too close to call at the stripe. Scoring is going to give it to the 53 truck of Kevin Lacroix. Hold it at the start-finish line, but they still run side by side. This is a perfect representation of just how hard it is to try and complete a pass at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. 53 truck runs it up into the dirt. Catches some curb right there on the inside, and finally Kevin Lacroix clears the 23 truck of Brett Holmes for the 5th position. Just 2.5 laps to go in stage number 2 as the 23 truck runs wide right there through turn 4. So we had a very strange crash through the S's towards the back of the field. You see right there, Tagliani, Karam, and Austin Wayne Self look like they're going to wad it up anyway. But right here, watch the number 38 of Todd Gillen. He actually comes down pit road. Runs it wide, obviously, makes a commitment to pit road. The 22 also looks like he's going to do the same. He slides off the racetrack, looks like he's coming to the pits. Turns out he actually did that by accident. 75 truck of Parker Kligerman had no idea he was going to be coming back up the racetrack. They make side-by-side contact right there as the 22 truck's trying not to hit the pit road attenuator wall. They hook, and the 22's rear bumper gets essentially sheared off by that attenuator wall, and it carries the 75 and 88 trucks of Kligerman and Matt Crafton around in White's Corner. A 3-truck accident will now bring the end of stage number 2. And here's the incident in real time. You can see the field racing extremely hard right up in front of Parker Kligerman, and you can completely understand why Kligerman thought the 22 truck was pitting. Makes a perfect exit like he is going to come down pit road, then cuts right back to the left because he does not want to pit, and gets turned around by the 75 truck who was there, as well as the 88 of Matt Crafton, who had absolutely nowhere to go. And so that crash will bring the end of stage number 2. 31 truck of Ty Dillon leading the number 2 of Sheldon Creed up the Mario Andretti straightaway. Tight braking zone down to turn number 8. The S's, the 2 trucks got one last shot at it. He's looking up to the outside. Going to try potentially a crossover into turn 10. But he's not close enough to try and make the move. Ty Dillon brings it off of turn number 10 to win stage number 2 here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Ty Dillon will take home the stage number 2 victory. Sheldon Creed in 2nd position. The 40 truck of Will Rogers in 3rd. 18 of Ty Gibbs in 4th. And Kevin Lacroix all the way up to 5th position. And I should mention the accident in turn number 10 that brought the end of this stage did in fact knock the number 22 truck of Austin Wayne Self out of the race. And so we didn't have too many takers on pit road following stage 2. The ones that did come down include the 45 of TJ Bell, the 92 of Austin Theriault, 24 of Raphael Lassard, and the 75 of Parker Kligerman. In fact, the 88 of Matt Crafton actually skipped pitting altogether. And so the green flag waved for the final stage here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park as the number 19 truck of Derek Kraus actually pits with the pace car. That slide out towards the back of the field by the 45 of TJ Bell. The 31 of Ty Dillon got a very great jump on the restart and cleared the number 2 truck of Sheldon Creed by actually about half a second already coming out of turn number 2. Now Sheldon Creed being hounded by the lap truck of Austin Hill. And coming out of Quebec Corner, the number 21 of Zane Smith, to use a term from road racing, suffered a major off coming out of that corner. Had to get back onto the racing line, losing about 6 positions. On lap number 47, TJ Bell actually just overdrives turn number 8 completely, gets up into the dirt, and makes contact into the outside concrete wall, and almost makes contact with that pit road attenuator wall coming into turn number 10. Now battling side by side with Raphael Lassard, and has to concede the position to the 24 truck. And by lap number 48, just take a look at the gap that the number 31 truck of Ty Dillon has put on the field. He now holds an 0.8 of a second separation above the second place runner of Sheldon Creed. And on lap 49, we see green flag pit stops. Race leaders hitting the pits, including Ty Dillon, Sheldon Creed, Will Rogers, and Ty Gibbs. But Kevin Lacroix will stay out, and you can hear the local crowd erupt with Lacroix out front in that number 53 truck for Starcom Speed Station, inheriting the race lead, as well as the 03 of Scott Lagasse Jr., who won the most recent road course race at Watkins Glen International, now running in 2nd position through pit strategy. On lap number 50, Kevin Lacroix hits pit road, but believe it or not, he actually edges the 03 truck at the start-finish line, so that means he is credited with leading 1 lap. But Scott Lagasse Jr. drives by up on the outside line and is now your race leader. And so you can now tell that your top 15 contenders look an awful lot different than they did before. That's because these are drivers who pitted much earlier, but will likely have to make at least one more pit stop unless we get another caution flag. Those being drivers such as Scott Lagasse Jr. running out front, John Hunter Nemechek now in 2nd, 87 of Peters 3rd, Haley Deegan running in 4th position, a great run so far, and the 60 of Kasey Mears. Quite a few other competitors running behind them who are also on the same exact strategy, right now holding the track position here in the Canadian Tire 250. As you can tell farther back, there's drivers such as Lassard and Sage Karam. Now let's wait for some familiar faces that we saw recently pitting, such as right there's the 31 of Ty Dillon. And Dillon holds the distinction of being the current leader of what I would call the primary pit strategy, because it is just the one-stopper in the final stage. The rest of these competitors are going for a two-stopper, where they will have to make at least one more pit stop. Lap 53, we get the caution flag, which pretty much puts an end to the alternate pit strategy as the 12 truck pushes up a little bit on the exit of White's Corner, makes contact with the 44 of Jet Noland, sending him down to the inside wall and turning the 12 truck around, bringing the yellow flag here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And on lap number 54, quite a few of our lead trucks hit the pits, including Scott Lagasse Jr., Timothy Peters, Haley Deegan, Carson Hosefar, and many others. However, quite a few of them opt to stay out because they believe that they can now make it to the finish on their fuel strategy. Those being the number 4 of John Hunter Nemechek, now your race leader, the 60 of Kasey Mears running in 2nd, and the 38 of Todd Gilland, who has cycled all the way up to 3rd spot after what has been, in many ways, a difficult race so far for Gilland. And by the way, strategy has put Matt Crafton right back into the position that he needs to be to make the round of 8. He currently sets in 4th position. And the green flag comes back out with just 11 laps to go here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Lacroix sliding it out, as well as the 45 of TJ Bell. Up towards the front of the field, the 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek gets the advantage, he being your stage number 1 winner, trying to take home the final stage and his first victory for KBM. Even though he's not going to be competing for this team next season, he would still like to end his tenure here with a victory. And watch out for this number 31 truck of Ty Dillon, carving his way through the field on fresher rubber than the trucks up in front of him. Making his way to the inside right there of Dawson Cram, and he will make the move stick out of Moss Corner. That moves Ty Dillon all the way up into 6th position already. 2 trucks passed on this restart. And so now we have a battle for 2nd position, 38 and 60 trucks side by side through turn 8. And this is perfect news for the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek to try and break away as these two intensely battle for that 2nd spot. Ty Dillon on the inside, the 92 truck now. That'll move Dillon 1 spot forward. The battle for 2nd continues. 38 truck very, very close to the inside wall. And it looks like coming out of turn 1, the 60 of Kasey Mears will continue to hold that 2nd position. But now a 1.3 second separation above 1st and 2nd is now held by John Hunter Nemechek. And watch this move by Ty Dillon that he puts on the 88 truck of Matt Crafton. Keep in mind, he's already made his way around the 24 of Raphael Lassard. But through turn number 2, Ty Dillon puts an outside line pass on the 88 truck of Matt Crafton, and those fresher tires hold him there. Ty Dillon now up into 4th position with a very good chance at the victory on those fresher tires. And on lap 59, the battle for 5th position gets physical. Watch this as non-playoff contender Austin Terrio gets right up to the back bumper of the 88 of Matt Crafton and just sends him coming into turn number 1 way too fast, hard into the outside tire barrier and out of the race. And here's a look at it from the onboard on the number 88 truck of Matt Crafton. Coming onto the front straightaway and down to turn number 1. 92 truck just punts him, coming down to the 1st corner, and into the outside wall goes Crafton and out of the Canadian Tire 250. Needless to say, Matt Crafton was not happy about this whatsoever. Being wrecked out of a very good points-paying finish, just minding his own business in 5th position, and gets absolutely knocked into the tire barriers. Crafton was furious following this race. But racing back to the caution flag, the number 31 truck of Ty Dillon actually made his way all the way up into 3rd spot, with now just his teammate Kasey Mears up in front of him, and the race leader John Hunter Nemechek, who takes the caution flag. So it's now the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek versus the 2 Germain trucks of Kasey Mears and Ty Dillon. And so the green flag waves with just 3 laps to go here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And look at the number 99 of Ben Rhodes slide it out, coming out of White's Corner. Now battles side by side for 2nd spot, as it looks like the 60 of Kasey Mears will clear his teammate. Now Here comes Ty Dillon with a crossover move down to the inside at turn 2. Dillon will not be denied of that second position, not even by his teammate as he pushes Mears up into the grass. Now with his sights set on the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek, it is going to be a battle for the victory between the Stage 1 and Stage 2 victors. But the caution flag was already out as the lap truck of Austin Hill makes contact with the 17 of Taylor Gray, turning Gray down to the 45 of TJ Bell. Bell into the wall and back up into the 17, turns the 17 into the wall again and down to the 16 truck. Taylor Gray spins around and up into the outside wall, bringing us under the caution flag with a green-white checker finish here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park to determine the finish. Only one attempt, 2 laps for John Hunter Nemechek and Ty Dillon to settle this one. And so now as Ty Dillon races his way through the S's all over the tailgate of the 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek, Nemechek will not budge as they almost go side by side back to the start-finish line. Nemechek still holds the race lead, and now with this race being extended a full 2 laps, that really brings the fuel situation into question, especially on that number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek, who is on a slightly longer run than that number 31 truck of Ty Dillon. And so following that accident, the number 17 truck of Taylor Gray is officially out of the race. Lap 64, we had quite a few trucks come down pit road because they knew they could not make it to the finish on gas, including the 51 of Alex Tagliani and the 19 of Derek Kraus, all coming in to top off. And believe it or not, under this caution flag, we actually had 2 trucks drop out of the race due to mechanical failures almost simultaneously. Both the number 8 of Mike Skeen and 44 trucks of Jet Noland are out of the race for a mechanical problem. And so coming out of the final corner and onto the front straightaway, John Hunter Nemechek will take the green flag for our one and only attempt at a green-white checker finish. There are trucks already sliding it out onto the dirt, and we have several trucks down pit road because they cannot make it to the finish with the amount of gas that they have. 2 laps to go here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. The 31 truck is in a less questionable fuel situation and has better tires, but it's been hard all day to make moves. It's very possible that with some smart driving, John Hunter could hold off that number 31 truck of Ty Dillon. But remember, Dillon was denied a victory back here in the inaugural running of this race in 2013 from a late race incident with Chase Elliott. Could he be looking for redemption here today? Only way to tell is over the course of these final lap and a half around Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. How hard will he race that number 4 truck? And remember, he is racing for a playoff advancement. However, the 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek, he's won here before back in 2016 and become the first ever repeat winner here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Racing up the Mario Andretti straightaway, he gapped the number 31 truck of Ty Dillon by quite a few car lengths. Now a battle for 3rd position. Defending champion Sheldon Creed on the inside of Casey Mears. Looks like he's going to make the pass. And now bumper to bumper they go out of the final corner. John Hunter Nemechek will see the white flag here in the Canadian Tire 250. This race is official. They will be racing back for the checkered flag and the victory. 31 truck going for the playoff spot, and the 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek just going for the bragging rights to score his first victory of the 2021 season. It has not been an ideal year for John Hunter. This team expected quite a bit, pairing up John Hunter Nemechek, who has quite a bit of Cup experience now, with Eric Phillips as the crew chief. They've had a lot of struggles this year. They missed out on the playoffs. They were suspended out of a few races because of an on-track run-in at the Milwaukee Mile. But now, coming up turn number 5, the tightest braking zone on this racetrack. 31 truck needs a great exit. Couldn't quite get the power down, even with the 4 truck having older tires. Here comes the 31 of Ty Dillon trying to pop out and make a move. Doesn't quite have the momentum going for him. John Hunter Nemechek down the Mario Andretti straightaway. Is the 31 truck close enough to try a dive bomb into turn 8? Not quite. They run through the S's. The final 2 corners, there's now 3 trucks under a blanket. The 4 truck backs up turns 9 and 10, leaving open the door for the 31 truck to put the bumper to him, but it's too late. John Hunter Nemechek will score the victory in the Canadian Tire 250 here from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in a green-white checkered finish. John Hunter Nemechek has scored the victory here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in a very close battle above Ty Dillon, stealing Dillon's playoff advancement, as well as Sheldon Creed bringing it home in 3rd position. The 40 of Will Rogers in 4th spot, and the 60th, Kasey Mears in 5th position. A great double top 5 as well for Germain Racing. An especially good performance for that number 4 team. The 3rd win on the season for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Victories that so far have been scored by Kyle Busch himself, Ty Gibbs, and now John Hunter Nemechek adding his name to that list of winners at Kyle Busch Motorsports. And you know, we surprisingly only had one truck run out of gas, that being the number 99 of Ben Rhodes, who actually ran out about a quarter of a lap after the checkered flag. So all these drivers and teams actually managed their fuel rather incredibly. We had a bit of a run-in on the final lap of the race. Here comes Stefan Parsons and Mason Mingus running side by side down into turn number 8. Mingus goes a little bit too deep and slides off the racetrack just a little bit onto the dirt, gets his left sides into the dirt, and that carries the whole truck up into the outside concrete barrier, slides it sideways, does a great job at catching that number 25 truck, gets it wound up in time not to slam the tire barriers, gets the thing turned down, runs through the grass once again, and actually finishes the race accidentally on pit road. But Mason Mingus does finish the race in 24th position, but in rather spectacular style. And so John Hunter Nemechek has scored the victory here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park with a race-leading 47 laps led over the course of the full 66 laps completed. And just take a look at the starting and finishing positions of the top 4 drivers. That shows you a little bit of something about how difficult it really was to pass here at CTMP. The number 4 truck started 2nd, finished 1st. Then you have Ty Dillon, who started 4th and finished 2nd. Sheldon Creed started 3rd and finished 3rd. And Will Rogers won the pole and finished in 4th position. Now, we do have a few outliers, such as Kasey Mears, who started in 19th position and finished in 5th spot. Kevin Lacroix really didn't go very many positions either. He started in 8th position and finished in 6th. But how about this? Austin Theriault, through pit strategy and good driving, with the exception of that run-in with Matt Crafton, started in 39th position and drove his way all the way up to 7th. One of the most impressive performances over the course of the day. Then we have Todd Gilliland, who started in 5th position and finished in 8th, but then Chris Wright started down in 38th and finished in 9th position. Quite a few trucks passed right there, and Ty Gibbs rounding out your top 10, qualified 22nd and finished in 10th position. And so now here's a look at your updated playoff points following the Canadian Tire 250 from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Grant Enfinger's advantage above the cutoff line has been cut down from 41 points now to just 38 points above. Ty Dillon, with his runner-up finish, now sets a relatively comfortable 30 points above the cutoff line. Stuart Friesen sets 28 points above the line. Ty Gibbs 23 points above. Kasey Mears just 20 points above. Matt Crafton, even with his DNF, because of the amount of points he scored over the course of the regular season, sets 18 points above the cutoff line. Defending champion Sheldon Creed, with his 3rd place finish, sets 12 points above, but Ben Rhodes cannot feel very comfortable setting just 3 points above that cutoff line. Timothy Peters, the only Ford running for a championship, he sets 3 points on the outside looking in, as well as Austin Hill in the 16 truck. He sets 6 points outside of making the cutoff for the round of 8. Then you have Brendan Poole in the number 30 truck. He sets 10 points out of making the next round, and Parker Kligerman in the number 75 truck for Henderson Motorsports. He sets 19 points out of making the round of 8. That's a bit of a difficult number to make up at the Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track without just going out and winning the race. And just for the fun of it, here is the look at the point standings of the competitors who were both eliminated from the playoffs and those who did not make it at all, including Christian Eckes, who currently sets best of those who were already eliminated. Then behind Eckes, we have Holmes, Cram, and Ryan Truex. And then we have the best driver who did not make the playoffs whatsoever, that being Austin Theriault, who set 17th in points overall above Zane Smith, Todd Gilliland, and John Hunter Nemechek. And with Nemechek's victory, he has now climbed his way up into the top 20 in point standings. And so now we move on to the final race of the round of 12, the Bank of America 150 from the dirt track at Charlotte. In the race analysis, the Bank of America 150 from the dirt track at Charlotte will take place over the course of 150 laps around this half mile, just outside of the mile-and-a-half Charlotte Motor Speedway, with the stages including on lap number 40 and lap 90 for stages 1 and 2. This track has undergone massive amounts of renovations to be ready for a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series event, such as fencing being placed on the inside of the racetrack and concrete barriers, sponsors hung up everywhere, more billboards, an entirely functional pit road that actually goes outside of the racetrack itself. Very unique design there. The trucks are actually pitted, if they do in fact need to come down pit road, right in front of the grandstand. Obviously there's a fence in between the grandstand and the live pit area, but still it's a very up close and personal experience for the fans, and it is unique to this racetrack. But as you can tell just from what you see on your screen, this place has undergone a lot of renovations, and it looks absolutely magnificent for its first ever NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race. And keep in mind, this is a dirt track and it's well prepared, so what does that mean? At least 6 usable racing lines at this place. You can go practically from right down where the yellow painted tractor tires are all the way up to right up against the outside wall. Very, very well prepared dirt track here at Charlotte. And this is a very short race, just 150 laps around a half mile. If you want to find your way into victory lane here today, you got to make your moves rather quickly. Also, we had 54 trucks attempt to make a 38 truck starting grid, and that's because of how many ringers showed up. And that means that 16 trucks missed the field. Keep in mind that because Aaron Reitzel was released from the number 83 car in the World of Outlaws for Roth Motorsports, they elevated Kasey Kahne up to the rest of the schedule in the World of Outlaws. That also included a Camping World Truck Series start here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track in the number 83 for Roth Motorsports, and Kasey Kahne made the show in qualifying. So Kasey Kahne will be making his NASCAR return in the number 83 truck here tonight for Roth Motorsports. And keep in mind, this is the final dirt race of the season. Final opportunity for these competitors to show off their dirt racing skills in the 2021 calendar season. Like I already mentioned, there's a tremendous amount of ringers in this field, which is what bumped the entry list up to 54 entries. Quite a few full-time drivers were actually knocked out of the starting grid due to how many ringers showed up for today's event. I've said all too many times, but we are in the playoffs, and it is win and you are in, especially right here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track. It is the elimination race of the round of 12. If you're coming into this race, a driver such as Parker Kligerman below that cutoff line by quite a few points, you've got to make it happen right now. You got to try and score that victory to advance your way into the round of 8 and continue your quest for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Championship. And in the starting lineup, Matt Crafton, one of our best series regulars on the dirt, qualifies his 88 Thor Sport Racing Toyota Tundra on pole position, a big bounce back from his late race DNF at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Zane Smith will start from second position in the number 21 for GMS Racing. Sheldon Haudenschild will roll off in third spot for On Point Motorsports. David Gravel will start the 24 truck from fourth position. Logan Schuchart from fifth. Ty Dillon will start in sixth spot. Will Rogers in seventh for typically being a road course ace. A very good qualifying performance out of Will Rogers on a dirt track. Ben Rhodes qualifies at number 99 truck in 8th position. Brendan Poole will start from 9th spot, making this a double top 10 in qualifying for On Point Motorsports. And Max McLaughlin rounds out your top 10, the number 61 for Hattori Racing Enterprises. He has quite a bit of dirt racing experience as well. Other notable starters include the number 56 of Mike Marlar, starting from 11th position for the Hill Brothers. Then we have Brad Sweet starting in 12th position for Brad Keselowski Racing. The number 87 of Timothy Peters, the playoff contender, will roll off in 13th. The 46 of Chandler Smith will start from 14th position. The 14 of Donnie Schatz, Tony Stewart Racing, is back, and Schatz is back along with it. He will start from 15th position. The 75 truck of Parker Kligerman will be starting in 16th spot. The 51 of Logan Seavey will roll off in 18th position. The number 6 truck of Nick Sanchez will start from 19th spot. The number 83 of Kasey Kahne, making his Camping World Truck Series return, will start from 20th position. The number 17 of Taylor Gray will start from 21st spot. The number 2 of Sheldon Creed will start in 23rd. And finally, the number 15 truck of Tanner Gray made the show. He will roll off in 27th position. The number 60 of Casey Mears will start from 28th spot. The number 98 of Grant Enfiger will take the green flag from 29th position. The number 52 truck of Stuart Friesen, the dirt racing master as of recent, with 3 consecutive dirt racing victories, he will be starting down in 30th position. A lot of work to do for that number 52 team from the start of this race. The number 11 of Craig Kinser will roll off in 31st position. The number 69 of Will Kimmel will start from 32nd. The number 62 of Jessica Friesen will start down in 33rd. The 45 truck of Ryan Unziker is rolling off from 34th position. The 18 of Ty Gibbs will start down in 36th. The 16 of Austin Hill from 37th. And the 53 of Jonathan Davenport will start down in 38th position. And now get ready for a long list of drivers who did not make the show, including defending race winner John Hunter Nemechek, who just won up in Canada. He misses the field here today at the dirt track at Charlotte, as well as the 8 truck of Camden Murphy did not make the show, the 02 of Tony Breidinger, the 09 of Stephen Parsons, the number 13 of Johnny Sauter, the number 19 of Derek Kraus, the 23 of Brett Holmes, 25 of Mason Mingus, 26 of Chase Purdy, 33 of Ryan Truex, 34 of Devin Rouse, 44 of TJ Bell, 50 of Gio Scelzi, who surprisingly was the pole sitter back in the spring at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track. The 55 of Ty Majeski did not make it. The number 92 of Austin Theriault missed the field. And finally, the number 97 of Jesse Little failed to make the field in qualifying. That is a full 16 trucks that failed to make the show here in the Bank of America 150. And from the drop of the green flag, you could feel the sense of urgency in these competitors trying to carve their way through the field as quickly as possible. Very short race, just 150 laps, and look at this field fan out. Almost 5 wide towards the back, with Logan Seavey all the way up towards the cushion. Lap number 1 gets led by the 88 truck of Matt Crafton, with the 03 of Sheldon Haudenschild assuming second. Logan Schuchart trying to take up third, with Zane Smith all the way up on the top of the racetrack. Lap number 3, there's a little bit of side-by-side action between the 17 of Taylor Gray and the 51 of Logan Seavey, as Gray almost slides up into the 51 truck right there as they're being put 3 wide down on the inside by the 62 truck of Jessica Friesen. Farther towards the front of the field, we have the 83 of Kasey Kahne, surely having a good time in his NASCAR return, going 3 wide in the middle between Nick Sanchez and Chandler Smith. Now being hounded by Sheldon Creed, all of which are competitors that he never raced against until this weekend. And on lap number 4, watch this move by Sheldon Haudenschild through turns 3 and 4. Matt Crafton slides up the racetrack just a little bit, uses up some of the cushion. Side by side, right to the stripe. And the 03 truck takes away the race lead through turns 1 and 2. Sheldon Haudenschild out front in the 03 truck for On Point Motorsports. Lap number 6, we get our first caution flag of the day for some trouble out towards the back of the field. Watch the 53 truck right there. Jonathan Davenport slides up into the playoff contender of Grant Enfinger, clipping the left rear quarter panel of the 98 truck down into the 45 of Ryan Unziker and up right in front of the 18 of Ty Gibbs. Gibbs gets hard onto the brakes and actually stays off of the 45 truck, but Unziker getting turned around brings out our first caution flag of the Bank of America 150. Racing back to the caution flag, the number 60 truck actually almost turned around the 42 of Carson Hocevar and made pretty significant contact up into the outside wall as they ran 5 wide back to the caution flag. And the green flag waves on lap number 12 for the 03 truck of Sheldon Haudenschild. Down through turns 1 and 2, we already got a move being made on the inside by Matt Crafton, trying to go back to the race lead. But watch this on the inside by the 3 truck of Logan Schuchart. Goes 3 wide for the race lead on the bottom. Side by side they go. 03 truck carrying that momentum off the outside line. Clears both of them, cutting back down the racetrack. But now the 3 truck of Schuchart takes up second. Haudenschild out front. And Ty Dillon going for the 3rd position. But on the inside of the racetrack, the number 31 truck of Ty Dillon makes a 3 wide move beneath Matt Crafton and Logan Schuchart and takes up the 2nd position. Take a look at that 30 truck of Brendan Poole making his way through the field. Now currently residing within the top 10. Actually now running in 6th position. Mike Marlar running right behind him in a battle side by side with Ben Rose. On lap 16, Matt Crafton makes the move back down to the inside, going for 2nd spot. Gets side by side with that 31 truck and powers it up coming off of turn number 2 and clears him through 3 and 4. But the caution flag waves once again on lap number 16 through turns 3 and 4. The 14 truck of Donnie Schatz accidentally makes contact with the 62 of Jessica Friesen, turning that 62 truck around and up into the outside wall. Not very much damage on the left side, fortunately, though, for Jessica Friesen. And on lap 17, we have a couple of trucks down pit road for the first time, including the 56 of Mike Marlar, 1 of Haley Deegan, 2 of Sheldon Creed, and 16 of Austin Hill. And so the green flag came back out on lap number 22 for the 03 truck of Sheldon Haudenschild. Through turns 1 and 2, he goes a little bit wide up the racetrack, opens up the door for the 88 truck of Matt Crafton down on the inside. These two run side by side through turns 3 and 4. Crafton trying to force him up the racetrack and use up some of that cushion. Haudenschild is going to hold it at the start-finish line, carrying that momentum off the top side. Here comes David Gravel up into the mix. He's now 3 wide for the race lead. 3 trucks abreast down the back straightaway for the top spot. Which line will be preferred? The 31 truck of Ty Dillon's trying to shove himself into this battle. And right now, coming off of turn number 4, as the 1 truck of Haley Deegan goes 1 lap down. She came back down pit road. Still side by side for the race lead. David Gravel was credited as the leader of the most recent lap. Right there, looks like the 03 truck's going to clear these guys off the top side. Incredible racing here at the dirt track at Charlotte. That time it was the 03 to hold the race lead, and here comes the 99 of Ben Rhodes down on the bottom, making up some significant time on the very inside of the racetrack. And right there you saw the 24 truck slide up the racetrack just a little bit. Lost a little bit of momentum. They are still 3 wide for the race lead as Brad Sweet gets up into the outside wall. Here comes Matt Crafton, forcing a 4 wide move for the lead. That moves the 03 truck up high enough to be outside of the usable racing surface, the 99 of Ben Rhodes. Now your race leader here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Impressive racing already. And a playoff contender is out front as now Kasey Kahne is racing his way up into the top 10. And we have a crash on lap number 27. Playoff contender Parker Kligerman gets turned around accidentally by the number 12 truck of Christian Eckes. So he gets just a little bit sideways more than he should be here at a dirt track like Charlotte. Opens up the door for the 12 truck, tries stuffing in on the bottom. They ran out of room, they collided, and the 75 gets carried up into the outside wall with the number 12 of Christian Eckes. They both made pretty significant contact into the wall, but more damage on the 75 than on the 12. On lap 28, we have a split in pit strategy. A vast majority of the lead lap trucks opt to come down pit road, including the top 3 of Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton, David Gravel, and many, many others behind them. However, Sheldon Haudenschild will stay out and assume the race lead. Other competitors who opted to stay out with Haudenschild include the 56 of Mike Marlar, the number 2 of Sheldon Creed, number 1 truck is 1 lap down, and the 62 of Jessica Friesen is racing on the lead lap. However, there is trouble on the number 03 truck of Sheldon Haudenschild. When the pace car ducks onto pit road, he comes in with it because he realizes that he has a tire going down on that number 03 machine. They're going to hopefully get the right rear replaced without dropping 1 lap down. Just a few laps to go before we get the stage number 1 caution, but Mike Marlar now leads the field to the green flag on lap number 33. And there's the green flag for the number 56 truck. Coming down to turn number 1, we got a bit of a battle between the 1 lap truck of Haley Deegan and the lead lap truck of Sheldon Creed, and that's a great opportunity for that number 56 of Mike Marlar to extend his race lead. They both run up into the cushion right there. 56 truck trying to carry that momentum off the top side. And during the caution flag, the number 87 truck of Timothy Peters actually dropped 1 lap down from race leader Mike Marlar, and that's because that 87 truck was suffering from overheating, not quite enough clearance on that grill opening. Mud was caking up on the number 87 truck, and they had to get that fixed and cool that engine down. Otherwise, they would have lost the engine altogether. So unfortunately for Timothy Peters, he is now 1 lap down, but at least still has a fighting chance. And yes, take a look at this. The 03 truck got off of pit road in front of race leader Mike Marlar. If he can stay where he is, he will remain on the lead lap. As the 2 truck of Sheldon Creed got up into the outside wall, he's dropping back quickly as there's now a battle for second position. Jessica Friesen takes away the 2nd spot off of Nick Sanchez. Ooh, very big slide right there out of the 62 truck, almost like she tried to force the 6 of Nick Sanchez up the hill, and it worked. As Friesen will take up the 2nd spot. Sanchez did not quite try the crossover right there, as now Haley Deegan is racing to get her lap back in the closing laps of stage 1. And so the 1 truck of Haley Deegan has cleared the 56 of Mike Marlar. Now 1 lap to go in stage number 1 here in the Bank of America 150. Will Mike Marlar try and lap the number 1 truck of Haley Deegan, running the middle line while Deegan runs the top. Now through turns 3 and 4 for the final time in stage number 1. They're going to be coming back to the line side by side. Here they come. Using momentum off the outside line, Deegan remains on the lead lap, and Mike Marlar will take home his first career NASCAR Camping World Truck Series stage victory. An impressive run right there by Marlar. First stage victory also for his whole organization. The Hill brothers win the stage, as well as Marlar, with Jessica Friesen bringing home that number 62 truck in second, Nick Sanchez third, Ben Rhodes in fourth, and Austin Hill rounding out your top five. Both Sheldon Hodenshield and Haley Deegan are now back on the lead lap. And so we had one truck duck onto pit road following the conclusion of stage number one, that being the number 2 of Sheldon Creed, who made very severe contact with the outside wall through turns 3 and 4. He's coming down just to make sure those fenders are clearanced. And so the green flag waves for stage number 2 on lap 46. 56 truck of Mike Marlar gets a great jump on the restart above Jessica Friesen. A lot of dirt track racing experience to get a launch like that. And the number 6 of Nick Sanchez takes away the second spot off the 62 truck of Jessica Friesen on the inside line of the racetrack. 99 of Ben Rhodes now battling that 62 truck for third position. However, there was contact on lap 47. Coming into turn number 3, Jessica Friesen overestimates her corner entry just a little bit, as the 99 actually goes a little bit conservative into the corner as well. She makes contact with the 99 of Ben Rhodes and turns the playoff contender around through turns 3 and 4. Up into the outside wall, very minimal damage, but a lot of track position lost as the caution flag waves. And because of that, that means that the number 6 of Nick Sanchez has officially secured second, as well as the 31 of Ty Dillon squeaking by on the inside to take away third. And so the green flag comes back out on lap number 53. And watch this restart move by the number 31 of Ty Dillon. He makes the move 3 wide to the inside of Nick Sanchez and Mike Marlar. And he jumps onto the throttle very early, coming off of turn number 2, getting side by side with the 6. Nick Sanchez backs off, and the 56 overdrives corner entry, jumps the cushion just a little bit, and Ty Dillon makes a 3 wide move to take away the race lead here at the dirt track at Charlotte. And Brennan Poole down on the inside trying to follow his example, attempting to take away the third position. Jonathan Davenport now going for a top 5 running position after starting this race dead last. On lap 55, though, the 56 truck of Mike Marlar gets back down to the inside of the 31 of Ty Dillon and takes away that top spot once again. Brendan Poole now running in third position, with Jonathan Davenport going for fourth spot in that number 53 Nutrien Ag Solution Chevrolet. And on lap number 58, watch this move by Brendan Poole. Tries to make it 3 wide for the race lead, all the way down on the bottom of the track. Slides up almost into the door of the 31 of Ty Dillon. But things actually get messy from here. Watch this battle for second place as Brendan Poole almost takes away the spot. Coming down to turn number 3, he gets clipped by the 31 of Ty Dillon and sent around up into the wall with the 31 as the 3 truck gets turned around by the 18 simultaneously. The caution flag waves once again. Lap 60, we get a split in pit strategy. Race leader Mike Marlar hits the pits, as well as Jessica Friesen, Austin Hill, Nick Sanchez, and Chandler Smith. However, the number 53 truck of Jonathan Davenport opts to stay out, as well as actually quite a bit of the field, including Brennan Poole now in second. Ty Dillon running in third. Those two have already ran into each other once, and Poole was not happy about it, but neither really was Ty Dillon. And they're going to restart nose to tail. Tanner Gray now running in fourth position. Good run so far. And Ryan Unziker now in fifth. Really got to pay attention for this 31 and 30 trucks restarting nose to tail, because it was an accident between the number 31 and 30, but I'm fairly confident that at least Brendan Poole would not see it as such. And the green flag waves once again on lap number 65, this time for Jonathan Davenport in the number 53 truck. But entering turn number 1, the field fans out once again. Here comes a 3 wide move by Ty Dillon, going beneath the number 30 of Brendan Poole, who he just got done spinning out. Now the 53 truck practically hops the cushion and drops back to around 5th position. But now the 30 and 31 trucks battle side by side as the 31 almost gets turned around, and that completely opens up the opportunity for the 45 down on the inside, nearly 4 wide for the race lead. Momentum being carried off the top by Brendan Poole. Now actually clears the field in the number 30 for On Point Motorsports. Brendan Poole, now your race leader, fresh off of being involved in the most recent caution, as Ryan Unziker makes the move down on the inside to take up the second position with his sights set now on the race leader. And where did Stuart Friesen come from? NASCAR's newest dirt racing king. He has won the last 3 consecutive dirt races in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, now going 3 wide for the race lead on the bottom. And how about this? Stuart Friesen puts the move on them. As the 30 truck hops the cushion, they're nearly going 6 wide through turns 3 and 4. Donnie Schatz made contact with Jonathan Davenport. And now Stuart Friesen is your race leader here at the dirt track at Charlotte. And you can tell the amount of finesse that he uses at this type of racetrack. That 52 truck has almost no dents on it whatsoever, while the trucks behind him look like they've already survived a race at Martinsville. And keep in mind, that 52 truck, he qualified all the way down in 30th position and has driven his way to the race lead in an incredibly intense battle, and there's not a single scrape on that truck. Shows you the amount of finesse that Stuart Friesen uses to slice and dice his way through the field, as the 45 truck takes away the second position. The 31 and 30 still inseparable. And watch this on lap 72. The 31 makes big contact with the 30 once again. Almost turns around Brennan Poole for the second time, but this time Poole was ready for it, and he caught it, turning that truck right back to the right and saving that thing coming off of turn 2. Still continuing the fight. However, the battle between those two was ended by a caution flag, as entering turn number 1, the 21 truck of Zane Smith tried to pull a slider up in front of the 42 of Carson Hocevar. Hocevar was having none of it, and essentially sent the 21 of Zane Smith up into the outside wall entering turn number 1. A little bit of contact right there between him and the 42 truck as well, but the yellow flag waves for contact between the 21 and 42 trucks. And on lap 73, we have a bit of a split decision in pit strategy. The 31 of Ty Dillon hits pit road, as well as the 53 of Jonathan Davenport, 14 of Donnie Schatz, and 69 of Will Kimmel, while the rest of the field primarily stays on the racetrack. And so the green flag waves once again on lap number 78. We are already beyond halfway in the Bank of America 150. Here comes Ryan Unziker trying to make the move to the inside of the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen. They now run side by side through turns 3 and 4. Ryan Unziker currently trying to force Stuart Friesen into a mistake, potentially hopping the cushion. But it's very hard to force a driver such as Stuart Friesen with all his dirt racing experience into making a mistake such as that. But right now, they move side by side coming out of turns 1 and 2 as we got trouble. Todd Gilliland turns over through turns 1 and 2. They now race back to the caution flag, and the 52 truck does jump the cushion. 45 of Ryan Unziker takes away the race lead back to the caution flag, as we've had massive trouble through turns 1 and 2. Oh, and have a look at this. While battling for 10th position, the number 18 truck of Ty Gibbs looks like he might try and pull a crossover on the 38. Didn't quite get committed low enough, and actually makes contact with the tailgate of the 38 truck of Todd Gilliland, sending him around entering turn number 1. Watch this. They carry each other right towards the outside wall, and the contact with the wall almost turns over the 18 truck of Ty Gibbs, but fully turns over the 38 of Todd Gilliland, digs into the dirt with the cab of that 38 truck, and goes into a barrel roll through turns 1 and 2. The number 99 of Ben Rhodes lucky to miss this one. More oncoming traffic. Mike Marlar, your stage number 1 winner, as well as the 14 of Donnie Schatz will be coming into frame right here. He almost makes contact with the 18 of Ty Gibbs. The 38 truck comes to its rest on the roof, and right there is the 14. He actually does make contact with the 18, but fortunately Todd Gilliland was uninjured in this accident, but he was knocked out of the race from this massive tumble through turns 1 and 2. Interestingly enough, the damage on the number 18 truck of Ty Gibbs was as well terminal, so 2 trucks wrecked out of the race from that one, and that's especially a big hit for the number 18 team of Ty Gibbs. Remember that they are a playoff contender. This is the elimination race, so now they are just banking on everyone else suffering from a similar style of problem, a DNF or something like that, to try and equal out the point standings so that 18 truck can make the next round, because right now they are in a bit of a points hole. And speaking of playoff drivers having trouble, the 31 of Ty Dillon comes down pit road on lap number 81 and retires from the race. Overheating trouble on the number 31 machine. Odds are it could genuinely be from running into the number 30 truck of Brennan Poole so much. Just plowing right into the tailgate of that truck could have punctured the radiator even. And the green flag waves once again with just 6 laps to go in stage number 2. This time, Stuart Friesen gets a bit of a jump through the first 2 corners. Gets side by side with the 45 truck of Ryan Unziker down the backstretch. Logan Seavey also in the middle of this battle. 52 truck tries to force Unziker wide. Unziker uses up some of the cushion through turns 3 and 4. Using that momentum off the top of the racetrack, we now have 3 trucks side by side for the top spot. 45 truck now dropping back. Logan Seavey battles side by side with Stuart Friesen for the race lead. Here comes the 45 truck of Unziker through the middle as the 52 truck up the cushion just a little bit through turns 3 and 4. Big bit of momentum off the top of the racetrack. At the start-finish line, that time by it was actually still Stuart Friesen to lead the lap. Here they come off of turn number 2. Logan Seavey going to try and clear the field on the bottom. He gets hit into in the back bumper by the 45 truck, still going 3 wide for the race lead. Here comes the momentum off the top side for the 52, but now Seavey has cleared the 52 truck of Friesen. Friesen tries to stuff it through the middle as Ryan Unziker now clears the field for the top spot. Here comes the 12 truck of Christian Eckes, almost out of nowhere on the inside of the racetrack. Such intense battling for the lead has brought him from, I believe, 7th position on the restart now to 2nd, with just 2 laps to go in stage number 2. The 40 of Will Rogers also now into the mix, going for 3rd spot. The 12 truck has cleared the 52 and 51 trucks. Now through turns 3 and 4, trying to get side by side with that 45 truck of Ryan Unziker. White flag is out in stage number 2 here in the dirt track at Charlotte. Christian Eckes is going to try and hold that momentum on the 45 truck. Slides up almost into him. Here they come through turns 3 and 4. Trying to force a mistake out of Ryan Unziker. They're going to be side by side down to the start-finish line. And it's a photo finish for stage number 2. Give it to Ryan Unziker to take home the stage number 2 victory. What a comeback from being involved in a horrific accident at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track back in the spring with Kyle Busch. Comes out here to Charlotte and takes home the stage number 2 victory in a very intense battle. Those final few laps of stage number 2 just barely edges out Christian Eckes for the stage number 2 victory. Stuart Friesen, the dirt racing king of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, really of NASCAR's national divisions. He brings it home in 3rd position in stage 2. The 40 of Will Rogers in 4th, and the 51 of Logan Seavey in 5th. Shout out as well to Tanner Gray, getting a 6th place finish in this stage. And I tell you what, watch out for Kasey Kahne, that number 83 truck. He has made his way all the way up to 8th position and could genuinely be a threat for the victory here tonight. And folks, the finishing margin of Unziker's stage victory was actually 15 one-thousandths of a second from where the timing line is. That is incredibly close for the stage victory between Ryan Unziker and Christian Eckes. A great battle over the course of those final 6 laps of stage 2. Let's hope that the finish of the race can live up to the stage battle. And so the green flag flies for the final stage in the Bank of America 150 from the dirt track at Charlotte on lap number 96, with the 45 truck getting the advantage off of turn number 2 as there's a battle going on for 2nd between Stuart Friesen and the 12 truck of Christian Eckes. Those 2 battling side by side will allow the 45 truck of Ryan Unziker a little bit of breathing room out front as there's contact farther back between the lap truck of Timothy Peters and the lead lap truck of Grant Enfinger, who currently runs in 9th position. Now Stuart Friesen takes over that 2nd spot in the number 52 truck. And right on the start, the number 22 truck actually suffered some pretty severe damage. The 21 truck checked up a little bit coming into turn 1, and the 22 of Austin Wayne Self just did not anticipate it in time. Got quite a bit of front-end damage on that number 22 truck. He had to come back down pit road and get some damage repair. Dropped a lap down the process, and they had to remove the hood on the number 22 truck. And on lap 98, Stuart Friesen had worked his way to the inside door, the number 45 truck of Ryan Unziker battling side by side. But the caution flag came out, and momentum off the high side carried Ryan Unziker back to the start-finish line with the race lead. So it's still Unziker above Friesen, and believe it or not, Tanner Gray getting a great run in 3rd position. And so here's what happened on lap number 98. Kasey Kahne misjudges his entry down to turn number 1, makes contact with the lap truck and playoff contender of Timothy Peters, and actually sends him around, entering the very wide turn number 1. Very, very long area of fluff and cushion up there, which I guess slowed down their run towards the wall just a little bit, but still a pretty big impact right there on the right side of the 83 and on the left front of the 87 of Timothy Peters. However, both trucks will continue in the race. Still quite a bit of damage on both of them, or at least affect the way that they handle. And the green flag waves once again on lap 104. This time Stuart Friesen gets the jump on the 45 of Ryan Unziker coming down to turn number 1. They get door to door coming off of the second turn. 45 truck of Unziker relying off the momentum off the high side, while the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen can just run him farther and farther up the racetrack, as he does right there through turns 3 and 4. But watch this momentum coming back to the start-finish line. The 45 truck beats the 52 back to the stripe. Once again, we have 3 trucks in the mix now for the battle for the top spot. The 12 truck of Christian Eckes now up into the mix. Right now, through turns 3 and 4, a little bit of contact right there between the 45 and 52. It was almost a clear move made by the 52 truck, now finally clear as they nearly almost collided and got carried up into the outside wall right there. Now your new challenger for the race lead is the 12 truck of Christian Eckes. And on lap 108, watch this move by Christian Eckes through turns 1 and 2. He's carrying the momentum in the center of the corner on the bottom of the racetrack. While he gets beat on the exit of the straightaways, he can hold that momentum in the center and just got side by side enough with the 52 truck to force him wide through turns 3 and 4 and clear him on the front straightaway. Christian Eckes now your race leader here at the dirt track at Charlotte. On lap 112, the 45 truck rolls great momentum off of turn number 4 and dives down to the bottom of the track through turns 1 and 2. Gets side by side with the 12 truck of Christian Eckes. Now through turns 3 and 4, runs the 12 truck wide. And Ryan Unziker is once again your race leader here at the dirt track at Charlotte. It was a very close race back to the start-finish line right there. Scoring gives it to the 45 truck of Unziker to lead that lap, and he has now cleared the 12 truck of Christian Eckes. On lap 115, Christian Eckes works his way back down to the inside. The 45 truck of Ryan Unziker gets side by side with him right to the start-finish line. Now trying to hold that momentum down on the bottom of the track, and the 45 truck hops the cushion, allowing the 12 truck of Christian Eckes by. Now through turns 3 and 4 as the yellow flag waves once again. This is now the race back to the caution flag. 12 truck on the high side carries that momentum to the start-finish line, and Christian Eckes is still your race leader now at the Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track. 45 truck of Ryan Unziker now running in second position. And here's why the caution flag came out. You can see right there Brad Sweet racing side by side with Craig Kinser, the 2911 trucks. Behind them is the defending champion Sheldon Creed, who gets caught a little bit off guard by Brad Sweet's aggressive slide into turn number 3 and makes contact with the tailgate of that 29 truck, sending Brad Sweet up into the outside wall with the number 2 truck of Sheldon Creed. They both get it corrected, but a lot of front-end damage, especially on that number 2. And the green flag comes back out with just 30 laps to go here at the dirt track at Charlotte. This time, Stuart Friesen is on a hard charge towards the front. Make a move to the inside of Grant Enfinger for third position to become the highest running playoff contender. And now run side by Ryan Unziker underneath the 12 truck as Stuart Friesen nearly made contact with the left rear quarter panel of the 45 truck right there, trying to turn underneath the 45 and make a 3-wide move for the race lead. And right now, Ben Rhodes is just waiting in fourth position, hoping that these three get to racing a little bit too intensely. As Friesen trying to poke his way to the inside and go 3 wide, still can't quite do it, as the battle for the top spot between the 45 and 12 is ongoing. Here comes the 52, though. Makes the move 3 wide coming off of turn number 2. Gets pinched down way on the bottom of the racetrack. And Stuart Friesen, 3 wide for the top spot onto the front straightaway. Incredible battling here at the dirt track at Charlotte. The 12 truck once again holds momentum off the top. That time he hops the cushion. And now Stuart Friesen picks up the throttle early and clears the field down the back straightaway. An impressive run right there by Friesen. Back out front with now just 26 laps to go here at Charlotte. The number 99 of Ben Rhodes on the inside. He's going to take up the second position. The top 3 dominant 4-sport trucks are running up into the top 5 now, or at least attempting to be, as there's more contact between the 45 of Unziker and Grant Enfinger. Those two are really going at it. Well, crossover right there, at least the number 12 truck thought about it on the 99 of Ben Rhodes, but now Rhodes holds that second spot with his sights set on the 52 of Stuart Friesen with 25 laps to go. And so now the number 2 truck of Sheldon Creed has retired from tonight's race due to overheating problems following that run-in he suffered with Brad Sweet. That puts Sheldon Creed into a very questionable position as to whether or not he is going to make the next round. Things are not looking good so far. He's going to need some playoff contenders to run into some trouble in these last 23 or so laps here in the Bank of America 150. If Sheldon Creed is going to be able to make the round of 8, it'd be rather disappointing to see the defending champion go out of the playoffs so early. And have a look at this. The 99 truck of Ben Rhodes has worked his way down to the inside of the 52 of Stuart Friesen. They're now running side by side through turns 3 and 4. He's trying to force Friesen up the racetrack to try and get the advantage of forcing Friesen above the cushion. Now through turns 1 and 2, the 52 truck goes up a little bit wide. He's going to hold good momentum, though, off the top side of the racetrack. He almost perfected it. He's going to try and jump down to the bottom, and he goes for the full crossover. Ben Rhodes out front, but he's still being challenged door to door by the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen. Now just 20 laps to go. This time the 99 truck gets ran wide. He's going to hold momentum off the top side. A good charge down the back straightaway. Still almost side by side as the 99 goes way up towards the outside wall. He's going to hold a lot of momentum down this front straightaway. Can he try and put a move on the 52 truck through 1 and 2? He can't quite do it, but he's within range. He's at least running a lane lower, going to try and set something up in turns 3 and 4. Incredible battling here at the dirt track at Charlotte. And what a debut for the Truck Series at this facility as the yellow flag waves. Highline momentum prevails once again, and Stuart Friesen holds the race lead back to the caution flag. Stuart Friesen is your race leader above Ben Rhodes and Christian Eckes. You can just feel the intensity ramping up every single time we get a caution as we approach closer and closer to the final restart of the round of 12. And so honestly, similarly to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, Taylor Gray's found himself in trouble very late in the going. Lap 132 of 150, obviously. He makes contact coming into turn number 1 with the number 69 of Will Kimmel. These two are racing for the 15th position. And he sends Will around, entering turn number 1. He carries him up into the outside wall with a big hit for both the 69 and 17 trucks, bring out the caution flag. And so the green flag waves once again on lap 138. Stuart Friesen got a relatively decent restart above the 99, but he overdrives turn number 1, allowing the 99 of Ben Rhodes to get up on the throttle early and try to get side by side with that 52 truck now through turns 3 and 4. Here comes Logan Seavey back up into the mix, trying to go almost 3 wide for the race lead in the closing laps. Stuart Friesen holds that good momentum off the top side as the 99 truck gets forced wide right there by Logan Seavey. And now it's been relegated down to a battle for second. Oh, and contact between the 51 and 12 as the 30 gets turned around. The number 30 of Brendan Poole turned up into the outside wall, and the caution flag waves once again. That is a playoff contender in trouble in the closing laps. And so here's what happened on lap 139 while racing for the 5th position. The number 30 truck of Brendan Poole slows up just a little bit more than the 45 truck anticipated. 45 practically goes through the number 30, turning him sideways and up into the outside wall. Very minimal damage, but look at all the track position he has lost. That very well could have cost Brendan Poole an advancement to the round of 8. All those positions that he lost right there through turns 3 and 4. And I'm certain that he is not going to be happy with Ryan Hunziker after that. And so, folks, we're going to go green with just 6 laps to go in the final race of the round of 12 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Onto the front straightaway, the 52 truck leads the field, and there is the green flag for Stuart Friesen. Entering turn number 1, here comes the number 99 of Ben Rhodes, trying to make the middle lane work as the 52 truck holds that momentum off the high side. Here they come through turns 3 and 4. Here comes the 99 trying to shove it in there. 52 truck holds the momentum off the cushion. Side by side at the line. 5 laps to go. Friesen trying to carry that high line momentum. 99 truck of Ben Rhodes beating him in the center of the corner. Classic dirt racing, multi-groove action here tonight at Charlotte. Number 99 of Ben Rhodes will clear him coming off of turn number 4. Oh, and here comes Friesen holding a lot of momentum. Crossover through turns 1 and 2. Back down to the bottom goes Friesen. Now side by side, entering turns 3 and 4. And the 99 just barely hops the cushion. Will he be able to carry the momentum onto the front stretch? Yes, he will. At the start-finish line, it was almost too close to call. Now 3 laps remaining. Scoring gives it to the number 99 of Ben Rhodes to lead the lap. 52 truck, though, clears him on the bottom. Can Ben Rhodes try the crossover? He can't quite do it. Pushed up just a little bit through turns 3 and 4. That might just be enough as there's a stable gap between the 52 and 99. Stuart Friesen has now extended the gap to just 0.4 of a second through just turns 3 and 4. Ben Rhodes is going to need a perfect lap and a half right here to get side by side with that 52 truck once again. And now the white flag waves for Stuart Friesen. There have been 3 dirt races contested this season, this being the 3rd. He's won the other 2. If he can make it just 2 more corners in front of the number 99 of Ben Rhodes, he'll have swept the dirt races in the 2021 season. Now through turns 3 and 4 up on the top of the racetrack. Ben Rhodes is there, but it's not going to be enough. Stuart Friesen goes 3 for 3 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series this season on dirt. And how about that? The master of dirt racing in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, Stuart Friesen. He's won the last 4 Camping World Truck Series races on dirt and 3 this season. That ties the rest of the field for the most victories by one driver on the year, 3 victories. But for Friesen, it's all been on the dirt at Bristol, Knoxville, and here at Charlotte. I'd call that the dirt track triple crown of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. But how about the racing that we saw here tonight? Sure, Stuart Friesen won once again. He might have been the favorite coming in, and he pulled off the victory, but he had to earn it. And in fact, he's had to earn every single dirt race he's won this season. But he knows how to get through these things and do it right. And as you can tell, that 52 truck looks about as clean as it started. And right there, under the cool down, the 15 truck just drove it into the outside wall. And so how about this for Stuart Friesen? He has won his way into the round of 8 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series with his 3rd win on the season, all 3 on dirt, sweeping the dirt races in the 2021 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series season. His statistics alone this season on dirt tracks have pretty much proven him as NASCAR's new king of dirt track racing. Probably the best dirt track racer in NASCAR since Richard Petty. 3rd dirt track win of the season and 4th overall in his career, scoring the victory in the last 4 dirt track races that he's ran in. And remember, he almost won the Cup Series race at the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt track if it wasn't for the merging number 61 of Christopher Bell. So he could have actually left the season with 4 dirt track wins this year, including a Cup victory and 5 consecutive dirt track victories. But just one bit of bad luck kept him out of Cup Series victory lane. That shows you just how strong he is on dirt tracks, especially the fact that he almost won for 23-11 back in the spring in the Cup Series. But Friesen started this race down in 30th, made his way all the way up to the lead, and in fact led the most laps of anybody. And this was only a 150-lap race, a very incredible drive by Stuart Friesen, locking himself into the round of 8. Keep in mind, in the round of 8, his truck's actually going to say Camping World on the hood because of his win in the Triple Truck Challenge, fittingly as well, on a dirt track at Knoxville Raceway. So that means that he is sponsored by Camping World and can take advantage of the monetary bonuses for winning any of the round of 8 races with the added sponsorship from Camping World. And that is a really big incentive to go out and win your way into the championship for, because not only will Stuart have then the opportunity to win the championship, but he will also get a large monetary bonus from Marcus Lemonis' Camping World. Just barely missing out on the victory was the number 99 truck of Ben Rhodes, taking home the 2nd place finish with 5 laps led tonight. But it was a very good points night, which was really all they needed. And now I should mention that Ryan Unzicker and Brendan Poole had a bit of a not-so-nice discussion on pit road following the race, but the NASCAR officials were capable of separating that before it really got out of hand. But let's just say that Brendan Poole was not happy with Ryan Unzicker whatsoever. But Unzicker did win a stage, so he's locked into the postseason All-Star race, and he brought home a 3rd place finish. So a very good run by Ryan Unzicker here tonight overall. Christian Eckes brought home a 4th place finish in the number 12 Coca-Cola Chevrolet Silverado. Matt Crafton brought home a good points tonight with a 5th place finish. Dawson Graham with a great 6th place finish after being eliminated from the playoffs in the first round, just trying to score those top 10s and build up his program for 2022 now. Kasey Kahne in his NASCAR Camping World Truck Series return. This is actually, believe it or not, his worst career finish. 7th, because in his other 6 career starts, he finished 1st 5 times and 2nd once. So even knowing it's still a very good finish, a top 10, it is Kasey Kahne's worst career Truck Series finish. But still, nothing to be too disappointed about. A return to NASCAR competition. running a race for a team that has very, very limited NASCAR experience. A 7th place finish, I think, is a great performance out of Kasey. Will Rogers, the road course ace typically, and the pole sitter from last week at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, surprisingly, he comes home with an 8th place finish on the dirt track here at Charlotte. Logan Seavey in the number 51 truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports brought that truck home in 9th position with 1 lap led on the night, and Grant Enfinger, another Thor Sport truck, brought it home in 10th position, a good points night. Also, shout-outs to Logan Schuchart in 11th position, Tanner Gray getting a great 12th place finish, Mike Marlar, the stage number 1 winner, in 13th position. Jessica Friesen brought the number 62 truck home in 14th place, so a double Friesen top 15. And Donnie Schatz actually brought home the number 14 truck for Tony Stewart Racing in 15th position, exactly finishing where he started. And so here are your point standings following the 3rd and final race of the round of 12 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Obviously, Stuart Friesen won his way in with tonight's Bank of America 150 victory. Grant Enfinger with a 10th place finish clinched a spot with 51 points above the cutoff line. Matt Crafton, 36 points above the cutoff line. Ben Rhodes, 24 points above the cutoff line. So with the exception of Hallmar Friesen Racing's victory, the Thor Sport trucks are still 1, 2, 3. Ty Dillon transfers into the next round, 17 points above the cutoff line, as well as his teammate Casey Mears, who's shown an exceptional amount of consistency this season, still has not won since Daytona back in February, but he makes the round of 8 with 15 points above the cutoff line. Ty Gibbs advances into the round of 8 with 10 points above the cutoff line, and finally Austin Hill made the round of 8 by just 4 points above the cutoff line. And now, the 4 drivers who did not make the round of 8 and will no longer chase a championship in the 2021 season. Defending champion Sheldon Creed missed it by just 4 points to the cutoff line. Very disappointing right there for Sheldon Creed, and it was really out of their control towards the end of the race. They were already out of the thing due to overheating trouble that they got in that run-in with Brad Sweet. Timothy Peters had trouble over the course of this race, dropped a lap down, and really never recovered from it. He misses the next round by 15 points. That puts the end to Ford's final chance at the 2021 championship. Brennan Poole, and this is why he was so upset with Ryan Hunziker. If he would not have been turned around within the final 10 laps of the race, Brennan Poole, if he would have finished where he was running in 5th position, he would have made the round of 8. He lost more than 15 points in that spin through turns 3 and 4. Unfortunately for Poole, On Point Motorsports and him will not transfer into the round of 8. And Parker Kligerman, quite frankly, suffered bad luck over the course of this entire round. So Kligerman will not make the round of 8 for Henderson Motorsports, but still a very, very good season for that number 75 team, and a lot to look forward to for 2022. And so here are your reseeded point standings coming into the round of 8 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Matt Crafton moves back to the top of the points board, with Grant Enfinger actually tied with him for the point lead. 8 points out of the point lead is their teammate Ben Rhodes, who currently sets in 3rd position. Stuart Friesen, with his 3 wins on the season, all on dirt tracks, now sets 4th in points, 10 points out of the point lead. Ty Dillon sets 5th in the reseeded point standings, 14 points out of the point lead. Austin Hill now 6th position, 15 points out of the point lead. Ty Gibbs, 18 points out, matching his truck number. And Casey Mears sets 20 points out of the point lead in 8th position in the playoff standings. And take a look at the driver who has moved up to the top of the list of those who were already eliminated from the playoffs. It's actually Christian Eckes, who now sets best of the rest to 9th in points. He has the potential opportunity of scoring as high as 5th in points. So that is really the goal of any of these competitors to get eliminated from the playoffs. Their goal is to finish 5th in overall season standings, because they can't finish any worse than 16th, but you want to at least be the best of the rest to bring home a 5th place points finish. And that is now essentially the goal of the competitors running 9th through 16th, but once we get to Atlanta, that'll be the goal of 5th through 16th. So behind the best of the rest competitor right now of Christian Eckes, we have Sheldon Creed, Brendan Poole, Dawson Cram, Timothy Peters, Parker Kligerman, Brett Holmes, and Ryan Truex. And so still the best driver in the field who did not make the playoffs whatsoever is Austin Theriault, who sets 17th in points. Behind him we still have Zane Smith, Todd Gilliland, and John Hunter Nemechek. And so now, folks, after all that extremely intense playoff action, determining the round of 8 for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series through the 3 races of the round of 12 at North Wilkesboro, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and the dirt track at Charlotte, we now move on to my personal favorite segment of the show, Q&A. Welcome back to Post Tech. Before I move on to the Q&A segment, you know the drill. I got to give you the disclaimer. If I mispronounce any names or handles, I do apologize, but it's bound to happen. And now, Only one question for today's edition from Switchblade. Has there been any discussion about widening pit road at Darlington Raceway following multiple incidents in both trucks and Cup? The answer is yes. There's been discussions about it. We're not sure if it's actually going to happen, but obviously the track is known as having one of the most narrow pit roads in NASCAR, as well as one of the most difficult pit roads to get onto under green flag conditions. So there have been some discussions maybe moving around its location or widening out pit road at Darlington Raceway, but you don't want to mess with it too much because that racetrack is very famous for its tradition. So it's a very delicate balance of what they can or maybe should or should not do at the facility to change around pit road, but they are at the very least thinking about widening out pit road at Darlington Raceway to try and lessen some of the incidents that we had at Darlington Raceway during the pit cycles, because we had quite a few run-ins during the pit stops in both events. And so that actually does it for the amount of questions that we got sent in, but still, believe me that I appreciate the amount of questions I get turned in to answer. It's a lot of fun to do these types of segments. And also, I once again want to apologize for how long it has taken since our last production of Post Tech, but believe me, I'm getting back on the saddle of things. We're about to have a very, very fun conclusion of the season, and the next time you'll be seeing us will not be on Post Tech. Finally, we're going back to a full race broadcast, the Winston 400 from North Wilkesboro Speedway, the throwback race. The first race of the round of 12 in the NASCAR Cup Series will be in full here on Speed Station. Get ready, it's going to be a very fun event. NASCAR's second race back at North Wilkesboro Speedway since the great return in 2020. Throwback racing in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs to kick off the round of 12. Be there right here on Speed Station next week.